Well, it's a good afternoon and welcome to Blacktown Olympic Park for the AFL Sydney Premier Division Grand Final for 2010. It's between the minor premiers Sydney University and the 2009 premiers, the East Coast Eagles. And joining me today in the commentary box is none other, Murray Canallan and Phil Bester. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Dan. Great to be here. Grand final day in Sydney. Another beautiful day and two very evenly matched teams.
Should be an interesting contest between these two. Sydney Uni, they had the week off in week one of the finals. They're being a top five series. They took on the winner of Western Suburbs and East Coast. West went through on the back of a 31-point victory. Then Sydney Uni, they took on Western Suburbs in the semi-final for direct passage to the grand final. And they got over the line. It was 13 points. It was a pretty tight battle. East Coast then, they took the long way around after a loss to West in week one. They scraped home in a close one against Pennant Hills by 5 points. It was more about accuracy than anything else and just sheer persistence from East Coast. Then last week it was the rematch against Western Suburbs with East Coast, and missed opportunities allowed the Eagles to skip away, and they got a convincing win in the end by 55 points to book their berth in today's grand final. So I guess the interesting thing, gents, is Sydney Uni, they've just had the one game in the last 3 weeks. East Coast haven't had a week off, 3 in a row. And it's going to be about, I suppose it'll help us understand, is it better off to go in with continuous football and form, or get a bit of a rest and go in with a little bit of a spell and fresh legs?
Yeah, I think most coaches will say fresh legs, but I'm sure if you ask both coaches, they'd have a different answer depending on where they finish.
It's pretty well the case, and it should be a very interesting contest. How are you seeing this one, Muzz?
Yeah, no, like you said, DJ, very tight. We've seen East Coast the last few weeks. We can see the coach on the screen at the moment just issuing those final instructions. I'm really looking forward to it. It was a great night on Monday to see Alex Lee win the Phelan medal, and I was on the same table with you, DJ, as Damien Bowles to watch him get it taken off him because he was ineligible, so I'm sure he's in for an absolute ripper game today.
Yes, he'd be out with a point to prove today, I'm sure. Damien Bowles won it by 2, but unfortunately had a little bit of an indiscretion. I think it was about late in the season, about round 15, so he'll be definitely out with a point to prove today. Gorgeous conditions out here at Blacktown Olympic Park. Umpires for the grand final, the AFL Sydney Umpire of the Year, Matt Guestier. It'll be Danny Deegan in number 3, Paul Barron, number 22. So both of these sides extremely strong across the park. Sydney Uni, their last game that they actually lost is going back to round 4, and that will be, round 3. That'll be an interesting point to prove. They haven't lost a game for a long time. East Coast, they've been a little bit up and down. Obviously, first round of the finals, they went down to Western Suburbs, Philby, but it was a pretty good contest, and they're probably a little bit unlucky. The Eagles had a lot of things go against them on that day.
Yeah, look, I think the Eagles have struggled to have a fit side all year, and you wonder whether that'll tell against them in a game like today where they've played a long final series, carrying a few injuries into the game, whereas the opposition, Sydney Uni, have had one game in a month, and that can also work against you. So it'll be interesting. I think the big key is that the Eagles need to get off to a good start, otherwise to put a bit of pressure on the students. First time in a grand final, a lot younger side than the Eagles, so very interesting as we see the sides starting to line up for the national anthem.
It's an average age for the students, making them well and truly students. I think 21, Philby, was the stat that was thrown around. A lot of youth in East Coast side as well, but they've got some good experience around those mid-20s that have played good football at many a level.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we please all be upstanding? The national anthem to be sung by Nellie Dargan.
Cross down now for the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toy. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare.
Fantastic rendition there of the national anthem from Nellie Dargan.
Yeah, nothing like the national anthem on grand final day, as we see old mate there in a very pretty number. Summer coming and he's got the legs well and truly out. But an absolutely rip-snorting clash coming up. I'm really looking forward to the back six of East Coast. They've been tested over the last 3 weeks of these finals. They stood up last week, and I think having that grand final premiership knowledge from last year will really stand them in good stead.
And some interesting changes too today for the Eagles. 3 changes from a 55-point preliminary final win. And some interesting ones. Jamie Vladko, their leading goal kicker and second highest goal kicker in the competition, comes back in, so that's a big in for the Eagles. But also Shane Ryan, their best and fairest winner from a couple of years ago, has been got married in France, so he's missed the last month of football, and he's come straight back off the plane and into the side today. So I'm interested to see how he can cope with
Ladies and gentlemen,
football
the
again.
coin toss has been completed.
Was a late withdrawal last week in the warm-up.
So put our hands together for Ryan, please.
Ryan Bottonoon and the NAB Rising Star for 2010. Gary Birkinshaw there as well.
Yeah, I said McGregor late withdrawal last week in the warm-up, but he's back today, and he's one man who'll be keen to get a victory. He played in the 2006 grand final, was very disappointed to lose that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that Shane Ryan decision, Philby, to tell you the truth. 5 weeks without football, obviously a little bit of celebrating over there when you get married. I'm not sure how that's going to stand coming back into 5 weeks out of football, some pretty intense football.
Well, I can one thing in his defence, Shane Ryan, I've heard of him running 10 Ks before a game, so he's actually a very fit man and he has done a lot of work. Sydney University, the minor premiers, Alex Lee there, the Phelan medalist on Monday night, he's going to be emphasis. But I think the keys are their skipper, Mark Egan. He's their leading goal kicker, and he leads the Sydney University side well, but also Mancarius and McConaughey. They're the two. I think the midfield, which John Vladko will play a big part of for the Eagles.
Yeah, I really like it. Doug Moore, Charleston was best on ground last week. Spiteri is a young fella, and Bowles, I'm looking to him for a big game today.
So here we go, it's the AFL Sydney Premier Division Grand Final for 2010. Murray Canellan will get us underway.
The first bounce of the Premier Division Grand Final. The two ruckmen go at it. No one can get a clean kick away, but Goodley does in the direction of East Coast, kicking to the right of screen. They lay this one inside 50.
Hands at the back against Goody.
So the Sydney Uni with the free kick. Oh, just losing his footing at a crucial time there, but able to regroup, take the mark, and he'll switch play to the hillside of Blacktown Olympic Park.
They go forward now through Lawson. Sydney University, they've got Mancarius. He's got some room to move. Charleston starts to get over there to cut him off. They send it forward, the bodies crunch. I think it was teammates that got amongst it there. Christian being one of them. Bottom of the pack. Head over the ball was Vlatko, being John Vlatko. 3 Vlatkos out there today, don't get confused. Sydney University, they go inside 50, finds the captain, Mark Egan. And the mark has been paid and it'll come back. And Egan will have the first set shot on goal for the students.
He's being picked up by the youngster, Jack Dimmery, so big job for the young Eagle.
Leading goal scorer this year, Philby, for the students. 63, not bad for a small forward.
And Ben Physic picking up the Phelan medalist, Alex Lee.
So first shot on goal, Mark Egan, he kicks from 40. No good, off to the right, disappointing first effort. That'll get the cobwebs out. It's only been the one game out of the last 3 that we've already spoken of.
Yeah, we saw earlier in the year this zone of Sydney Uni very hard to penetrate from the Eagles' point of view.
So Bilkey kicks out into the far pocket for East Coast. The chip back inside to Pearson. Just holds it up. The chip again, just across the pocket again, looking to hold it up. That's Charleston.
They're a very disciplined side, Sydney Uni. They know where their positions are and they make sure they work to it. No talk there from the Eagles.
So kick goes long and through a couple of pairs of hands. We'll have a boundary throw in right in front of the umpires who have made their way out to watch their mates. Boundary umpire this big grand final, the first boundary throw in. Couple of minutes through the first quarter. That was O'Connor doing the ruck work, taps it down to himself, gets the kick away. Chapman couldn't hold it, neither could Charleston.
High contact, Sydney Uni.
There we go, the second free kick going the way of Sydney Uni.
So Sydney Uni, they've got some run through the centre. They decide to go in that direction. They're looking for Mitchell. Mitchell does well to repel Vlatko. Gets caught now with the ball.
And I think you'll see Mitchell
with Damien Bowles.
Mitchell picking up Jamie Vlatko. I think you'll see him try to run off him all day. Vlatko coming back from a hamstring injury.
Charleston now, centre wing, far side of the ground.
The Eagles will have to, what they'll try and do here is be patient because Sydney Uni do get a lot of numbers behind the ball.
Spiteri back to Charleston again.
Hold. He's on it now.
Charleston's probably already had 6 touches of the...
He's got Physic on the far wing. They can really break it open if they want to.
They come to this side. They find Physic. He's got some room if he wants to have a run. He elects to go by foot. Couldn't take the mark. They keep it in front of them, East Coast. Picking up nicely there was Costello. Watched his under-18 teammates play this morning and lose. He wants to go one better. This falling in the lap of O'Connor. Couldn't hold on to it. That was Bowles with the tackle. Shrugged it. Play on. Sydney Uni with some room. And they go to a lovely kick right on the logo of their club. That is Kreft. Goes long to the pocket. Egan couldn't take the mark. Falls to Crichton. Snaps. Dribbles. But called out of bounds beforehand. Hit that point post.
Deep in the forward line there for Sydney Uni. Good chance for them to score the first goal of the game of the 2010 Sydney AFL Grand Final.
Good little passage there from Mancarius. Good little gather. Beautiful pass picking up Kraft.
And young Costello playing on Mancarius. So big job there for the youngster.
O'Connor. Elkington wins it down. Bilkey gets a little bit of help, but handball gets smothered. They keep it in, the students. This is dangerous, but Charleston's back on the line. They play on quickly. Running around the far side of the ground, they put it out in front of Chapman. Chapman now gets corralled by 2. Has Vlatko on the corner of the box. Good pass from Chapman. Finds him. They're back through the centre. He's now working through Beardsley. Ball doesn't sit up for him. Turn over to Higgins.
Higgins goes inside 50. Plenty of numbers back. Ball spills at the back of the contest and just sneaks in. No. Hit that point post again. Must be plenty of padding on that left-hand point post. We'll have a boundary throw in. We can see the crowd really starting to build as we lead into this Premier Division Grand Final. The ball comes thrown in by the umpire. Big punch going the way of Costello. Got some time. Loops the hand pass over the top. That was, Spiteri with the hand pass over the top.
Fantastic conditions here at Blacktown Olympic Park today. We've had a look at the centre wicket area. It looks like it might be a little bit hard, but it's quite soft underfoot. So perfect conditions here.
Yeah, I was watching that contest, and that's a poor decision because both of them were pushing each other.
Umpire Barron there, free kick to McConaughey. McConaughey's going to send it into attack. Plenty of East Coast Eagles getting back now. It's making it very difficult to find a spot to kick it to. The fly comes though. Bowles was in front. Kick now coming from Mitch Thompson. Thompson gets the first goal of the game. Sydney Uni, 1 goal, 1. East Coast yet to score.
Good goal there from Mitch Thompson. Hasn't kicked too many this year. He's only kicked 5 for the year, so that's his first today. And boys, great to be at the grand final, but my mother is turning 80 and having a bit of a party. So I believe they're listening in down in Melbourne. Happy birthday, wish I was there.
You're in all sorts of trouble.
I'm still the number 1, don't you worry about that, Wendy. Still number 1. And we're looking forward to see you all in a few weeks. But now back to the footy. Have a great day, Mum.
So 1 goal, 1-7. Sydney Uni, they've got the momentum to start this game off. Bit of scoreboard pressure.
Not 15, play on.
Not 15 play on the call from the umpire. We get a hand pass out the side. Winning the race was Sydney Uni. They get it out in front of Crichton. Bilkey goes to ground, gets the hand pass. Bilkey hasn't moved there. That was Beardsley. Touch play on. It's just getting up a bit gingerly. Beardsley with his picking up his own crumbs. Good kick, good mark. Vlatko takes it. That's Jamie.
Well, important for the Eagles to get off to a good start, and important for their leading goal kicker, Jamie Vlatko, to just kick Truly straight up. We'll test him coming off a hamstring injury.
Pretty good two-pronged approach with now they go short for Bowles. Good mark from Bowles there.
Bilkey has been cut open. He's got a cut across his right eye. So I'm sure the umpire will pick that up.
A lot more pace this week, boys. We saw last week Bilkey had so much time to do stuff, and today he was under the pump big time.
Very early. So Damien Bowles, he'll look to get the first score on the board for the Eagles. Kick on goal. I think it's coming back. Beautiful kick from Bowles. He gets the first. Nice pass from Jamie Vlatko to set it up. Back to 1 point.
And the Frenchman getting ready to come back on, Shane Ryan.
Oui.
He's not too far in front of where his new wife's sitting at the moment in the crowd. He'll be very keen to put in a good effort. Obviously, someone else getting a game in front of him, so he'll be very keen to play well.
Umpire Deegan will get us back underway again. Elkington and Bowles in the ruck contest.
So this one going the way of Elkington. Bowles couldn't get the tap down. Sydney Uni slamming on the boot. They'll go inside 50 to a contest. Good hands there, McRedmond. The late withdrawal from last week's final. The hand pass from Vlatko finds Bilkey, sends him inside 50 with a spearing kick.
Could have got a free, I thought, Vlatko.
Vlatko's got buried there. Baker out in front of Doug Moore. Trying to shake the tackle was Vlatko, but relieving pressure there. Wells with a hand pass over the top to McIntyre. And they'll relieve this one to the wing side, or the hill side of Blacktown Olympic Park.
Brighton just fumbled around with that one. Now they get it to the centre of ground. Should have taken it. Coughed it up. Shane Ryan, he couldn't get to the fall of the ball. Bodies around, Bowles amongst it. Physic bangs it forward. Inside 50. Only man there, though, is Alex Lee for Sydney Uni. They're going to work it down the far side of the ground once again. Drop there from Jess McGuirk. Should have taken it.
Just dropping a few Sydney Uni where they should take them. That could be the lack of football.
That one game in 3 weeks, I reckon, Philby, and there could be a bit of it. Alex Lee is good enough this time, and he fills that void. Takes a nice little settling mark. Ugly kick, though, making it tough for Casperson. Good work, Spiteri. Holding the ball, the decision. He plays on quickly. Looking for Peter Vlatko. Couldn't take the football. Lee's going to mop up again, but he's given that a little bit too much. They're not going to be able to settle. Thompson over the top. Sydney Uni will get away with it.
That one almost down the throat of Merkel. Just dropped the mark. A bit of grand final nerves about. We're approaching the 11-minute mark of this first quarter. Sydney Uni 1 goal, 1-7. They lead the East Coast Eagles 1 goal, 6. So we've got Bowles in the ruck for East Coast. Gets a good tap away, only as far as Thompson for Uni. Got caught high, it's his free kick. Right on centre wing on the grandstand side. Plenty of numbers back for both sides at the moment. Little spearing pass. Bowles tries to play soccer with it, gets a kick into his size advantage. Charleston with a hand pass over the top. Finds Pearson.
I'm not sure about that one from Bowlesy, Phil. He just went a bit of an air kick there, and that could have turned a little bit horrible.
Yes, went totally the wrong direction.
Bowlesy gets back to help out again. That one's going to beat him all over the boundary line. Charleston with a little bit of a knock there on Crichton, and the free kick is a result. Charleston said to be not necessary. Coming after the contest, so Sam Crichton will have a shot from a very tight angle.
That's it, Sam. That's it,
And the Eagle supporters getting right down there to have a go.
Tries to bring it back around and just scrapes it in from behind. Sam Crichton gets his first score for the day. 1 goal, 2-8 now, 2 points the margin. East Coast, the solitary goal.
So just waiting on the Sharon to come back into the field of play.
And while we are, once again, happy birthday, Mum. I am the number one son. Don't worry about what Wendy says.
Socks and jocks for Christmas, please.
So we go back and have a look at round 3, the first time these two sides met. And the students, they got across the line by a very short margin of 7 points. McConaughey, the best for the students. Charleston, the best for the Eagles.
John Vlatko just chips to the far side. There's my man Charleston. He's taped up like Bruce Reid again this week. Nothing's changed. Oh, I think the sun might have just affected the boys there with McRedmond and Bowles. They get a break. They go forward quickly. Good spoil coming from Clint Wells there. And the ball goes across the boundary line. We'll have a throw in.
Seen a few skill errors from both sides, boys, I think. Both sides a little bit nervous at the start of the grand final, but who can really make the most of their opportunities?
Not sure about that attractive lady in the crowd there. It's a lovely dress. I guess he did something wrong throughout the year to have to wear that today. And I'm hoping he won't do it again, but he looked pretty happy with the situation. Spiteri, though, tries to set it up for Doug Moore. Vlatko tries to tap it to the danger zone. Vlatko's going to get another chance. Jamie Vlatko continues to push. Doug Moore, he's trying to get in amongst it as well. And he gets the free for putting his body on the line. Well done to Peter Dugmore.
He's missed a lot of footy. Dugmore was pretty good last week in their win. Wasn't dominant, but just did enough when he had to.
Just see that game last week. Just start seeing him lift. And he's certainly got some good people around him that can take some of the pressure off Philby, with Jamie Vlatko, Bowles going forward as well. Peter Vlatko. They've certainly got some height up there.
Well, straight in front, if you're a full forward, you should kick these.
Doug Moore with his first shot on goal for the day. Just gonna make it. He's happy with that one. Gets that one under his belt. That'll calm the nerves. Doug Moore with his first, East Coast with their second.
Bill, how's that eye? Not bleeding? Yeah, great, no problem.
Did you hear that?
Rowan Bilkey with a little bit of a cut over the eye at the moment. Umpire's just making sure it's all okay.
Because I'm sure Bilks would tell him that, no, it's bleeding again.
It's okay, he'll be able to clean that up with his long hair at the back. That'll reach around the front of the eye, I reckon.
Just comb that over and the umpires wouldn't see it.
So a good crowd in attendance this afternoon for the big one. The tap from O'Connor, only as far as Egan. Slams it on the boot. Sends Sydney Uni forward inside 50. There's our man Bilks, wins the race at it. Got a little bit of a push. He's just telling the umpire, what about that free kick before?
Not happy about it.
No, he got the push toward the fence. So the ball will be thrown in. We're 15.5 minutes through the first term. Ball comes down, Adam Lee, under some immense pressure by Physic. The ball comes out the back. Bowles gets his kick to it, to centre wing. Couldn't take the mark, was Chapman.
All right.
There's Ryan.
Oh, geez, that was hot.
You know what, not much in that one, as you said, Philby. He had not much time there, Shane Ryan, to get rid of that one.
Shane Ryan might be saying a few words in French.
Coming back to Burrows, yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah, a little bit of French on the field.
Umpire Barron paying that free kick right on centre wing.
So, Burrows. Just looking for a target, but East Coast have gotten back in numbers now, so he has to go long. Man in front, couldn't control it. Pearson does well to spoil.
Dugmore all the way down there.
Covering there was Dimmery. And Bowles just lets that one trickle over the boundary line. Looks like it's gone over on the full, so Mancarius, he'll load up. Send it back into the hot spot. Egan across the back. Bilkey holds back position, gets the bounce he was looking for. That one ricochets off Spiteri and over the boundary line.
O'Connor probably should have got a free kick there. He was shepherded out of the contest. Bilkey a bit unlucky there. Was trying to kick that pass a lot further there.
So the tap down comes from Kraft. In and under, Egan on, couldn't take it. Bilkey again, throws it on the left, gains valuable metres, and the mark can't be taken there by Bowles. He runs it across the boundary line. We'll have another throw in. We're 17 and a half minutes through the first.
So a bad kick there from Bilkey. Probably should have taken that, Bowles.
So a tough start, Bilkey's been put into the dirt a few times.
So across the back, Elkington sets it up there for Mancarius. Now Physic, Dimmery, Vlatko shrugs a few off.
Push in the back, downfield is. Hey John, you've got the free kick, just let it go.
Vlatko there will get the free kick, but it'll go downfield to Bowles.
So in the 2009 Grand Final, John Vlatko really was on fire in the first half.
Bowles send it straight up the ground. He'll continue to work that boundary line, trying to get it to Goody. Goody can't control it. He's going to have another go. They're just shoveling it around at the moment. Hawkins for Sydney Uni. Mancarius amongst it. Boundary line, the winner once again. We'll have a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing Goody playing an important role up front, just as that small forward for East Coast today. If he can get a couple of crumbing goals, then it'll be well on the way for an East Coast victory as McConaughey gets the crumbs down from the boundary throw-in. Kicks them long, only as far as Physic for East Coast. Gives it to Charleston, who just measures a kick back inside. Mark taken by Mancarius, gets the hand pass across to Sloan, who goes back across the other side. They then bring it back inside to the middle of the ground through the corridor. That's Jesse Martin. Geez, he looks like a young fella there, guys.
Justin Bieber.
Not too much muscle on those arms. There's enough on the leg. He's absolutely crunched that one. What a goal!
Cop that, says Jesse. Call me Justin Bieber, will ya? He has absolutely loaded up there, Jesse Martin. No boats in sight. But he set that one for home, sailing clear of the goal line.
Oh, baby. So Bowles comes for a rest. He's been pretty good early. Replaced by McRedmond.
Back in front go the students, Sydney Uni, 2 goals, 2-14. East Coast, the 2 straight kicks at the moment. We're just coming into 20 minutes. Umpire Deegan will get us back underway.
We haven't seen anything of Peter Bledko so far. Last week he was really good, even across the centre line early in the game.
Just about to come back onto the ground again, as you mentioned, Phil.
Mancarius gets a hand pass around the back, only as far as John Vlatko. Just puts his kick into space. Couldn't get Costello on the first attempt. There's the goal kicker, Jesse Martin. Puts the kick out in front of Higgins. Mancarius wraps the tackler up. We get a kick out, only as far as Clint Wells takes the mark. Steadies the ship for Sydney Uni. 20 minutes through the first. They lead by 2.
Clint Wells, once one of the ex-Wollongong players, now playing with Sydney Uni. Bukoniki, one of the others. Punch there coming from Pearson over the top of Kreft. Cheese, they call him, not sure why.
It's almost Kraft. He's from Bega, I could
have gone with that one as well.
So the O'Connor does his own ruck work, gets the hand pass, squeezes it out. The kick in the direction of Goody. Can't get it. Well, the boundary throw in, basically on centre wing, on the hillside. It's a beautiful day at Blacktown. Maybe a bit of a breeze to the left of your screen. The tap down from Kreft. The kick inside 50 for the students, marked by Charleston. He's had a strong first quarter. Plenty of touches. Kicks into space. Overrunning it there is Kruger. It's 2-on-1. He's got to knock this one out. He could be in some trouble.
Could have been a little bit lucky there, Dimmery. He came in late. From outside, it looked like he just pulled that one in and could have got caught, but got away with it himself from Kruger.
I think umpire Deegan was obstructed. He was on that far side. Couldn't probably see what we saw.
Higgins now gets it inside 50. Chance for Egan. He loads up. It's coming back to the left.
All clear, Frank.
Egan gets his first for the day. Sydney Uni, 3rd goal.
It's good work there from Michael Higgins. Just had too much pace for the Eagles players.
It's a beautiful kick there from Egan. Just set it out a little bit to the right. Let that breeze that is running from your right of of screen, bring it back. Just turned in nicely. Beautiful kick, opens up the 8-point margin. 22 and a half into this first quarter. Happy crowd, some well and truly some of the best burgers going around today, boys.
Yeah, Penadills have done well with the canteen. I had a nice bacon and egg roll as we turn up for the under-18s. Umpire Barron gets us underway. Knocked off the ball there was Charleston. Running hard at it, Kraft. They get it away and they get it inside 50 again, the students. Good tackle. There we go. Free kick to Sloan.
Against Merkel.
Ball to play on, wheels around, going to drop this one in. And the backman, Carius, goal! Goal to Sydney Uni. They're fourth and they extend the margin to 14 points.
At the moment, too many Eagle players getting sucked into the contest, and Sydney Uni are knowing how many to send in and how many to wait back, and they're just out knowing him at the moment.
And Carey's just having a rest up forward. He was just sitting behind. No one picking him up. Ball missed the lot. Went through a couple of sets of hands and just fell nicely.
As we see Trent Baker coming on for Daniel Spiteri.
And say Macarius resting up forward, as Egan does as well. I would like to see Spiteri probably rest up forward because he's a dangerous little goal kicker.
Bowles gets up high, but Elkington stays on ground. He ends up winning the knock. Out in front of the students now, McConaughey, Dimmery. Sloan gets on the ground. Kreft now puts it on the boot, gets it forward. Not the bounce East Coast were looking for. Physic has a swing. McRedmond. They go back. Bilkey on the last line of defence will have a little bit of room to move. They look to put it out in front of Shane Ryan. Getting back and cutting him off is Clint Wells. Also getting some support now from Jack Lawson, but Lawson can't keep it in the field of play.
So we're approaching the 25-minute mark, 24 and a half through the first quarter. The ball being about to be thrown in. Elkington in the ruck. He's going to go against Bowles. Bowles went early, missed it. Elkington wins the ruck contest down. Costello slams it forward, only as far as the field and medal winner. Lee, I thought he could have been done for holding the ball then. Called play on. Bilkey throws himself for the contest. Kicking it in front there was McIntyre. He's going to go very close to the goals, but just snuck through that point post in time.
Once again, the very reliable East Coast backline, they're being tested here by Sydney University. So they look to change it through Pearson.
Come on, guys, cut it out, behind.
McRedmond, Charleston, Kruger, just chipping it around, trying to move it forward. Centre wing they are, they bring it back through the centre, starting to muck around with it, maybe a little bit too much here, East Coast. Charleston, Spiteri. That there was Baker, and they finally get it back into the control of Kruger. Charleston works to get further up ground, now on centre wing. As a bit of a short quarter, we see the end of the first quarter, 26 just shy of. And at Sydney University, very strong first quarter, some opportunist goals have gotten them into the lead. It's 4-3-27. East Coast, 2 straight goals, 12, 15 points the margin. Good first quarter of football, gentlemen.
Yeah, very good, Dan. And the Sydney Uni just had too much pace for them at the moment.
So just going through the goal scorers for our online viewers. For Sydney University, Egan with 1, Mancarius with 1, Thompson and Martin also single goal scorers. And for the East Coast Eagles, Dugmore with 1 and Bowles also with the second goal for East Coast, the margin 15 points.
AFL Sydney Premier Division Grand Final for 2010. Start of the second quarter about to get underway. Sydney University, they're out in front, the minor premiers, 4-3-27. East Coast 2 goals, 0-12. 15 points the margin. Good tight contest to start things off. Couple of opportunist goals. Players in the right spot over the back of the pack, getting Sydney Uni that 2-goal buffer at the moment. But good start, Philby.
Yeah, Sydney Uni be very happy with their first quarter. They were playing in the grand final before and they'd be wanting to get off to a good start, so they'd be very happy with the start. They've taken their opportunities. They're looking lively. There's definitely no tiredness from having one game in a month. They're definitely come to play and they're very keen for the contest, as they should be.
Elkington and O'Connor to contest the first bounce of the second quarter. We've got a free kick against Mancarius going the way of Beardsley. He'll send them inside 50 early. This one couldn't find Vlatko. There is Peter Vlatko. This one coming to Charleston. Just a little dribbler. As Uni, they mop up with a couple of hand passes. That one a little bit ill-directed. Running hard at it, Costello, the young fella. They get a little bit of a tap. This time McConaughey with the ball. Head over it was Thompson.
It's a good effort there from Costello. 3-4 efforts there. It's a poor kick from Beardsley where he got the free kick after that centre bounce. He was waiting for the Vlatko or Dugmore, whereas he had 2 other players on the 50 that he just didn't want to kick to.
Got in front of his man there. Costello did a good job against Mancarius as McConaughey brings the football, gets tied up very quickly.
A lot of people would have thought Dean Costello wouldn't be in the side come the last day of the year, and under 18 and sort of been in and out of the side, but his last month of football has been absolutely just as good as anyone else in the side.
He's been very good, looking for Mancarius. That missed now with Peter Vlatko. Vlatko gets the ball free, could have been taken high. Umpire says yes. So ball, I think that's with Beardsley.
You've got a nice little gap for someone to lead into at the moment. Dugmore goes for it, but they went the short option.
It's Peter Vlatko.
Dugmore wants it. He's just pointing into the space he's after. Short, stabbing pass.
Yeah, he's a man who can kill from there.
Tough angle.
He's creeping a little bit further forward in inches at the moment, East Coast, but Spiteri, he's going to line up and have a shot.
You think the Eagles need to take the chances they get.
No, where you are is 5 metres, okay?
Spiteri, 20 goals for the season, Philby, been good in front of goal.
He likes it.
Look at that, a fist pump. As soon as it left the boot, Spiteri with a beautiful kick. Number 3 for East Coast, they're 3 goals straight.
I think Daniel Spitteri's played in something like about 8 straight grand finals and won them all the way through juniors, reserve grade.
There's a good mascot for you.
Yeah, last year in the seniors. So he plays with a lot of confidence, the young fella.
18 games this year. He's played in every single game. Fantastic player for East Coast. And there's just a small glimpse of why.
So we've got O'Connor and Elkington to do the ruck work. Elkington gets the tap down. Sydney Uni just hack it forward at the moment. Pearson over the ball.
Sydney Uni were appealing for a throw and they thought they might have had it then.
Umpire Deegan. Come back to Beardsley. Got him a little bit too high. I think it was good work. Man on the mark.
This would be almost Beardsley's 3rd or 4th kick in the first 3.5 minutes of this second quarter.
Yeah, I thought he was really good last week, just in and under. Didn't get heaps of clear possessions, but he just was always at the bottom of a pack.
So Beardsley with the football on a defensive 50. Chips it over to find some space with Pearson. Pearson continues up in the same direction. Chapman finally gets the bounce that he was looking for. The turnover comes now. Mancarius Handball back into the corridor. McConaughey. He sends it back to the centre square. Hawkins. Well done. Hawkins tries to open up a bit of space. Finds Alex Lee, Phelan medalist. 2010. Lee sends it forward. Spearing kick, but man in front there.
Dimmery, good job on the skipper, Regan.
It was Jack Dimmery. Fantastic effort. Now he finds Beardsley.
Beardsley gets it, runs, plays on straight away. Spiteri. Oh, geez. Bowles thought he had the up and under. But the 228s go out. Wells steadied himself and a big punch across the boundary line.
He did well there, Wells. Bowles would have been off to the bowling alley if that had got over the top.
We're rolling them out today, aren't we?
So the third man up punch comes from Hawkins. Little hands away, finds McConaughey. He just dribbled one across the line. Beardsley just got whacked.
McConaughey let him know as well.
Bit of standover tactics there.
Costello goes long. Going the early crow there was Goody.
Saw that last week going to Goody in the air. It's just not on. He's not an overhead mark. So they need to have a better target there than Mark Goody.
Thompson kicks to the outer side, finds Mitchell. He's got some time to run. He stops, or he could be in trouble. Good pressure there by Charleston. This time it's Thompson. Goody putting some hassle on him. Thompson, left, right, spins around. Got a good turning circle. McQuirk keeping that one in. And I think the ball has crossed the boundary line.
Work on to keep it in. Spiteri thought, no, I'm going to take it out. A bit of bongo action going on in the students.
Everyone knows Green's out this season, so he's obviously way behind in the Fashion Stakes, old mate. So
East Coast coaching staff down there, Glenn Garner.
Big different day for Glenn Garner today. Last year he was playing coach. Last year Glenn Garner. This year doing it from the sidelines.
So we've got Elkington and O'Connor to do the ruck work. Elkington gets front and centre. Gets the tap down. Ball falls to Sydney Uni. They go inside 50. They go to the far side. There's some time. There's some space. And running hard at the ball was Fizzy. He sends them wide. Sorry, Kruger. He's got Bowles. He steadies. He's got some time. Puts it on the left to the top of the goal square. Looks good off the boot. What a goal!
Ugly kick. But a great goal from Damien Bowles.
That was a terrible kick from Bowlesy, but all the same, it still travelled. It got the 6 points, and that's a bit of a team lifter there. Second one for Damien Bowles of the afternoon. Margin now back to within 3 points. Game well and truly on.
Well, sometimes when Bowles has a shot from there and he's lining them up, it goes out on the full. That time, it just came off the boot so badly, and it just sailed straight through the middle.
Some changes to be made as Baker comes on. Shane Ryan also looking to get back onto the ground again. So back in the second centre of the ground. O'Connor in the ruck for East Coast.
4-3-27 Sydney Uni. They lead the East Coast Eagles, the reigning premiers, 4 goals straight, 24.
Dimmery had to win that one down, and Vlatko gets the kick forward. Inside 50 they go. Handball coming out from Roberts. They get it forward through Hawkins. They find themselves a target, McGuirk. Continue to work along the boundary line. Now they look to bring it back towards the corridor. The fly comes, Kraft. Now with McGuirk. Sorry, Jesse Martin. Martin inside 50, fingertips. Egan looking to get it back in, the rolling ball. Fizzick does well to get back to Mancarius, but the umpire said that one's going out of bounds. He'll have it back for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, good smother there from Rowan Bilkey through the hands at the feet. Got the touch. Mancarius couldn't keep it in. The punch comes from O'Connor. Bowles, one-on-one rake, goes long. Couldn't find the target.
Ball kick because he had Ryan on the wing. He just needed to have a look.
Casperson goes through McIntyre. Out to the wing through Hawkins. He's got McConaughey leading the race to the ball. Picks it up. Beardsley in defence. Puts a bit of pressure on. Hawkins with the little sandwich. Takes the mark. Another one just inside. With just enough weight on it for Mark Egan, the skipper, to take a mark.
He's just too quick there for Bilky. He's very quick off the mark, Mark Egan. Knows how to kick a goal, so
That's it, yeah.
it's be a good chance for him to put his side further in front.
He'll kick this one from about 45, on about that 45-degree angle. But being the leading goal kicker, I'm sure he thinks this is very gettable. This to get the margin back out to 9 points. Looks good off the boot. The umpire likes it. So Sydney Uni, it's their 5th of the day. The margin back out to 9 points.
So far, Sydney Uni seem to be able to use the ball a little bit better. Seem to have more time. The Eagles seem to really be battling to get the clear possessions and really find an easy target.
You know, you're exactly right, Phil. They seem to be able to pinpoint those passes inside 50. They're just a little bit tidier at the moment than East Coast. East Coast look like they're in a little bit of a rush when they're trying to get that forward. That'll be umpire Barron. He'll get us back underway again. Sydney Uni, Roger Moten on the sideline there, looking to get his team through for the premiership. Beardsley gets a ricochet off Egan. Lee, through the legs it goes of Roberts. Vlatko, Peter Vlatko. Now Bowles, he just strolls away with it. Sends it forward, looking for Doug Moore. For the ball there was Hawkins. They're going to find themselves a little bit of space. Doing it nicely, Sydney Uni. Barton gets caught high. A little bit clumsy there from Darren Chapman. Some of the other Sydney Uni boys decide to get in and just let him know how they feel.
Mark's back here, brothers. Because Ashley kicked it, it wasn't afterwards, right back here.
So the ball will go back to where it was kicked.
Peter, Mark's here. Thank you.
Finally it makes its way back, so it'll get us back underway again.
Yeah, probably fortuitous it wasn't downfield. There, Sydney Uni had a bit of a break on as they go back inside. Good spoil from Spiteri. Comes over the back, finds Fizzy. The kick just to 2 of the Uni boys. Egan controls the ball, sends it out to Thompson. He himself just slows the things down, finds Mitchell. Mitchell wheels around to the cricket pitch, sends him inside 50. But Bowles, Damien Bowles takes the mark.
The Eagles just falling down across half forward there. They've playing extra numbers up the ground, so they've got nothing to kick to.
Charleston in the pocket. Works it up ground. Bowles works hard to get into the hole. Fitton continues over the top with Shane Ryan. Ryan looks for Doug Moore. Doug Moore got a fair piece of it. Brought it to ground. Now it's with Roberts. Roberts back to Egan. Egan gets caught. Peter Vlatko shot on goal!
Would have been a great goal. Hit the post. He was celebrating Vlatko as soon as it went off the boot.
It was very close, but it came off almost straight back into the field of play, so he's hit that post well and truly in the centre.
It was a great smother from him. He stole the ball and could have got himself goal of the year.
So as Sydney Uni send it to the shadows of the grandstand, putting pressure on there was Baker. First to the ball for Uni was Wells. Can't just pick up cleanly now. Hawkins in trouble, hand passes in front. Vlatko's got it. Beardsley sends it back inside, looking for Bowles. Big punch came from Alex Lee, and it was the two feeling medal winners there, you could say.
Alex Lee there, I was surprised he didn't get a little bit of talk there. He could have taken a fairly simple mark. He had the carry, but decided to go the big punch to the boundary line. Bowles just wins that one down. Egan amongst it. Crashing through the middle is Fitton. He tried to split him. Dimmery, Mancarius says, I'll have a go at this gentleman. Gets one free. Free kick's going to come back to Spiteri.
It's just gone up a cog, boys. A bit red hot out there now.
Just feels like they're getting a little bit nervous and a little bit under pressure here, the students. They're just coughing it up a bit. Peter Vlatko has just got, no, Jamie Vlatko has just got himself a free kick in front of goal, and I think...
Pretty sure he caught one across the chops, I reckon.
Just saw him drop out of the corner of my eye and straight away could hear the umpire's whistle in the ear. So ill discipline there from the students is going to cost them a goal. It's going to get East Coast back to within a 2-point margin. We're 14 and a half minutes through the second quarter. The AFL Sydney Premier Division Grand Final for 2010. And this will be Jamie Vlatko's first chance to get a score on the board for the day.
And Peter coming off as he kicks. He's got it.
Does that one nicely, celebrates Jamie. Jamie Vlatko gets his first. East Coast get their fifth.
Well, we said the game's gone up a notch, and the Eagles would like that, I think. I think Sydney Uni would like it to be open, free-running game and use their pace, whereas I think the Eagles would be happy if it's a nice, tight and hard contest.
Saw the Eagles, their intensity lifted a little bit better there. They weren't falling off tackles, which they have been doing earlier in the game. And Sydney Uni, they just started to be not quite as clean as what they were. As things stepped up a gear, they got a little bit nervous. They might have a little bit of a challenge on their hands, that's for sure.
And Peter Vlatko coming to the bench, so I thought he's done really well at the start of this quarter, putting a lot of forward line pressure on.
Yeah, really unnecessary free kick, especially right in the square. Sydney Uni had plenty of numbers back in their defensive 50. It was going to be a really hard kick inside 50 for East Coast, but eventually the free kick paid. Easy goal, 2-point margin, and we're ready for umpire Deegan.
Jamie Vlatko's come to the bench as well, and he did grab his knee when he came off, but the physio, Nathan Halliday, hasn't gone near him, so he must be just a breather.
There we go, free kick to the way of Ryan Fitton.
Good kick.
Sends it inside, mark taken by Beardsley. Who's he got? He's got Dugmore in the square, leads out.
It'll be 50 metres.
Out of the mark.
So it'll be 50
these are sorts of things that can change grand finals. He said yes, he said move it, he didn't say play on.
So just went a little bit early. He was keen to go at Beardsley.
Aaron Hawkins was the man on the mark that got caught out. Thought the umpire said play on.
So 2 free kicks are going to swing this match right back in the favour of East Coast. They've got the lead. This match has heated up a couple of degrees at Blacktown Olympic Park.
Well, pretty unlucky there. I don't like the rule, but that is the rule. I think they need to change that. Even at AFL level, we've seen that happen a number of times.
Confusing words that the umpires use, and when you're in the heat of battle, it can certainly sound very close to play on, and hence the encroachment of the mark straight over the front.
So that's Goody coming on for Chapman, just going to have a spell, a couple of high fives down at the bench. Peter Vlatko just letting the coaches know what he's seen from ground level.
It's like the old footies are well and truly cleared. We've got the emergency footy on the ground. So umpire Barron will get us back underway after a little bit of a delay.
It's the Nick Davis Award for putting it as far back into Snake Gully as he can.
So Barron will be O'Connor and Elkington. O'Connor just nullifies it. Mancarius hits it on the run, gets it forward. Egan uses some body presence. McRedmond throws his body at it. Physic does well. He's got a man with a little bit of space there. Pearson. Pearson sends it forward. They get a good bounce. Continue to work it. That was Baker. Fitton.
Need to hit the target there, Baker.
Casperson gets the turnover. Sydney Uni with a little bit of room to move.
McGuirk with it on centre wing on the hillside. 18 and a half minutes through the second quarter. Getting ready for the Oranges at halftime as we run that one across the boundary line. 4-point margin to the East Coast Eagles. They've kicked 4 goals, 1 in this second quarter to 1 goal for Sydney Uni.
You can deliver water, no messages, okay?
I'm sure the message the water carrier was probably just kept going, mate. I don't think he could have gotten any message from the coaching staff. Plenty of numbers around that boundary throw in. Pearson at the bottom of it. Rakes it out. Vlatko tried to get his hands on it. Mancarius. Alex Lee puts the afterburners on. Has a shot. It's going to go across the face of goal. Still danger for East Coast. He bats this one back inside. Bilkey taken off it. Turnover. They got the hand pass out. A couple of hand passes here. A chance for Lawson. Snaps. And it's behind.
Just didn't hit it cleanly there, Lawson, so it didn't come back the way he would have liked it to.
The fingernails being chewed right down there from the East Coast supporters.
So they play on quickly. Work it back through the corridor. Fitton gets one late.
Push him.
No 50 on the back of that, McGurk.
Is it me, boys? Have all grand finals been played on the other side of the ground today?
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating for the commentary box, which is on obviously the near side of the ground. So Baker, McRedmond, just keeping possession of it at the moment. East Coast. Pearson,
that's what hurts you when you don't hit the target.
Mancarius turns around, sends it back in 50. They're going to have to work hard here, East Coast. Vlatko throws his body at the ball. Across the back, McGurk has a shot on goal. He's already hunting ahead in disappointment. Only the behind.
Just a bit of talk needed from East Coast. There were 3 of them in a marking contest. They all went to ground eventually.
Been a little bit costly, Philby. We've been talking about this all the way through the finals. The students there 5-5, 35. East Coast 6-1, so only the one ill-directed shot so far. 2 points the margin.
Running over it there. A few of the players. Hand pass coming from Crichton. They're in the shadows. They square it back up. Punch from Fitton. Going hard at it, McConaughey. He'll go in again. Few little hand passes here for East Coast through Fizzy. Slams it on the boot. This one would have been down the throat of Wells if he'd opened his mouth, but he drops the mark. Bowles with a booming kick inside 50 in the was it a push?
That's the problem. Goody does that every time. He old style footballer just tries to push out. He's not a marking target.
Would have been a beautiful piece of play from East Coast if it could have eventuated.
Mancarius now.
You see Sydney Uni hit their targets coming out. East Coast continue when they come out. They chip around and then they're poor disposal, they turn it over.
Pass straight up to Elkington.
Technically should have been 50 metres against Charleston then.
Elkington, stabbing pass, it's a 3-on-1. Vlatko fills into the hole, now he's got Bowles through the centre. Bowles can kick it a long way. Decides to go to the far edge of the square to Baker. Looking to open things up, gets the lead from Doug Moore in front. Good work, the punch came. Doug Moore gets it on the boot, across the back, Spiteri plays on, kicks the goal. Number 7 for East Coast, 8 points, they extend their lead.
It's a lot better play there, they were a bit steadier. Bowles hit his target in Baker, and then Baker could kick into Doug Moore. This time Doug Moore didn't go to ground, he just kept his feet and put it into the hot spot, and Spiteri did the rest of the work.
Bowles didn't blaze away, that was the key. He saw Baker. Baker was sitting there waving as much as he could. They crossed, they went into Doug Moore. Doug Moore kept his feet, which was also handy. Snapped to the goal square. Bang, Spiteri gets his second.
There's
Blue crowd.
Gawley, East Coast Eagles supporter.
I can't wait to hear
And
her when I
sponsor.
go down to the boundary line. She's always one of the most vocal supporters for East Coast.
Bowles playing on the forward line at the moment. He's done a lot of work. He'll be very tired at half time.
O'Connor gets the tap down to McConaughey for Uni. They send this one into the forward 50. Plenty of run. Breaks the tackle. Turco. Shot at goal. And it's good. They get the reply. And it's back to a 2-point margin in the grand final.
Turco, good run there, Philby. Hit the ball, good attack. Just steadying himself, knew he had a little bit of time. Kicked truly.
And they backed their teammates in Sydney Uni. They knew they were going to win the contest, and they just kept running off.
Not sure at all of that one. But anyway. So, a noblet of fire from the students.
Is it a Harry
might be at a
Potter? Is
higher
there a Harry
level than
Potter reference there?
Maybe.
Who knows what goes through the university?
Especially after a dozen or so cold VBs.
So, umpire Barron will get us back underway. Beautiful bounce straight up in the centre. Elkington wins that one over Bowles, but Bowles, he regathers, sends it forward. The students, though, straight across. Spiteri almost gets away from Martin. Thought Martin might have given a free kick away for continuing on with that tackle, but it beats them over in the relief of the boundary line.
Did well, Spiteri, then he was outnumbered.
A little bit of activity. Spiteri and McGuirk reacquainting themselves.
Jesse Martin getting involved, just stick to sailing. So the boundary throw-in comes in, winning the tap was Elkington. Over the back, Uni couldn't take it cleanly. Plenty of pressure from Chapman, continues at it, gets a left foot stab at it, but it's only as far as Jack Lawson for the students. They've got some space on this outer wing.
Good chase from Goody.
They're going to use it. Mark, good mark taken there by Turco, who's just kicked a big goal for Uni. Out in front, Egan, bad bounce, Bowles comes, wraps it up, back over the top was Kreft. He's going to get it, Egan, gets it, can steady, can put it through, and he does. The students have got the lead in the shadows of half-time.
Just too classy, Mark Egan. Just very smart footballer, knew what to do then, and after East Coast have really, probably not dominated, but definitely had the better of the quarter. The students regained the lead just on half-time.
Nice little running goal from Turco. They only kicked the one prior to that. 5 goals, 1 East Coast, 3 goals, 2 for the quarter for Sydney Uni. There's a couple of late goals as well, and truly brought them back into it. After East Coast, as you said, Phil, they built some good momentum going into half-time. It's been clawed back by Sydney Uni. They're out in front by 4 points.
And Jamie Vlatko has been on the bench for quite some time.
So the boundary the ball up in the centre square. Bowles back in the ruck. There wouldn't be long left in this second quarter. Goody, big chase, puts a bit of a push on.
We're flirting with danger a little bit there, Goody.
He just wanted
an eye on him with a couple of nudges in the back.
Just wanted him to overrun the ball there just so he could pick it up and have a shot at goal. We've already gone about a minute longer than the first quarter. I wonder if they hit the siren early in that first quarter.
O'Connor wins that one down. Spiteri works the boundary, couldn't gather. Mancarius does. Good tackle applied by the little man Spiteri.
They've got numbers if he has a look.
They've got him very strapped across the 50. Sitting with Merkel.
Yeah, too far for him.
Merkel looks for physic. Collision of bodies. Sydney Uni get to the fall of the ball and they're away. Kreft out in front of Pearson. Continues to work towards defence. He has a man running off in Thompson. Thompson to McGuirk. Jess McGuirk gets a bad bounce. Bowles recovers, sends it back to the same direction.
Yeah, couldn't find Charleston. Got him on a one-hopper. And the ball goes across the boundary line. We're at 27 and a half minutes through the second quarter.
John Vlatko spent a fair bit of time on the bench as well, which is just, I think, part of the time when Sydney Uni have got the ascendancy back again.
He's been waiting for his change, but
there's a bit of claret coming from this Eagles player.
So
I'd say that was probably in that big contest.
Yeah.
Both players very gutsy and good to see them both get up.
A bit of a head clash as
it's a bit over the top for the blood run, isn't it?
Stitch is required. This bloke's just
Nothing a bit of cotton wool won't fix.
We've got old mate on the phone at St John's ambulance.
Benny Physic. He is never takes a backward step.
Johnny
Fantastic player.
Johnny Vlatko coming on. He's going to go straight up the race, I would say. He's going to need a new jersey and 6 to 8 stitches.
I don't think we'll see him again this half.
It's insightful.
Send it forward. Bit of cheek in the commentary box. Everyone loves it. Over the boundary line, I'll have to separate these two before long.
I actually think I was thinking out loud because I was looking at John Gawley on the bench, worrying about giving him a new jump, and I'm thinking I don't think you need to worry about it that much because I'm pretty sure he's not going to be back.
Well, back in they go. O'Connor just pushes. Elkington gets pushed out of the way. Across the back half is Bowles. Sydney Uni win that contest. Starts to travel in the direction of the boundary line. The ball wins out. Closing in on half-time. 4 points the margin. 2010 AFL Sydney Grand Final. Sydney University, the minor premiers, up against East Coast Eagles, the reigning premiers.
Sam Sloan's got up from that last contest. Like, some of the horses are backed, not looking real good at all.
Well, his head must have been the one that caused that massive crater in the East Coast Eagles player's head, who's being attended to at the moment in the rooms. As we hear he dived there, Shane Ryan. So a good crowd on the hill. Bring the picnic blanket, grab a couple of ice cold beers and sit back and watch some scintillating Premier Division AFL.
Chasing a bit of the springtime sun.
Boys, I reckon they did push the button early in that first quarter, because we're almost at 30 minutes through this second quarter as East Coast bring it out through Chapman and Bowles. Bowles sends them long. Doug Moore went to fly, couldn't do it. The boundary line looks like it'll win this race. Goody with his trademark bump off the ball.
Doug Moore with a little bit of a fly there.
Goody's usually wearing black suits, ties, hats and sunglasses wherever he goes, but today he's put the footy gear on.
That was Clint Wells I was talking about before too. I got that wrong. He's come from the ground.
So, last opportunity possibly for East Coast in this quarter. They get some bodies in movement. Bottom of the pack though, Sydney Uni, they've trapped that in. I think that's Michael Higgins at the bottom of the pack there for the students.
The teachers, the Eagles, were putting their hands up saying, sir, sir, and then the students put their hands up and said, what are you talking about, sir?
Yeah, Barron there, he's paid that one, and that was a bit tough.
With Shane Ryan.
Oui.
So the Frenchman shot on goal, very close to the end of this quarter, and he pushed that across the face just the behind.
So we are at 31 minutes. There we go. There is the siren to end the first half of the 2010 Grand Final. It's been up and down like a yo-yo. Sydney University will take a slender lead into the half. They lead 7-5-47. They lead the reigning premiers, the East Coast Eagles, 7-2-44.
A good quarter there from the Eagles, 5 goals to 3. Got themselves back in the game with a bit more intensity, made the game a bit more of a contest rather than an open running game.
Those couple of late goals, Philby, really steadied things for Sydney Uni on the back of a good first quarter. They kicked 4-3 to East Coast, just the 2 straight goals. And as you said, 5-2 to 3-2 in this quarter. Only 3 points the margin. Game well and truly on. Can't be separated at the moment, these two sides. And we're looking forward to a scintillating second half of football to decide the 2010 Sydney AFL Premier Division. Sydney Uni up against East Coast. We'll be back shortly with the second half. Well, welcome back. 2010 AFL Sydney Grand Final. Sydney University up against East Coast. They're 3 points out in front at the moment. Fantastic first half of football. Second half is shaping up as a treat.
So Bowles in the ruck against Elkington from Sydney Uni. Elkington's done a fair effort in the ruck today. East Coast have cycled through O'Connor and Bowles through the ruck. Ready to get us underway this second half of the Premier Division Sydney AFL Grand Final, and we'll have that one back.
Dugan just getting a little bit too much left on that one.
Just like your goal swing, DJ.
Oh, tell me about it. Sorry.
Don't push him in, John.
So there we go, we get underway with the umpire throwing it up. Mancarius straight to it, left foot, slams him inside 50. Good mark from Charleston, been strong today. Switches play to the Hills side, a couple of the Eagles go at it. Ryan gets the hand pass across to Kruger, who gets one across to Pearson. Another hand pass, gets Bowles into space, comes back toward the middle, kicks East Coast inside 50 for the first time in the second half, and a strong mark taken there by Hawkins. Goody, once again, Philby can't go to him with that high one. Oh, he's in trouble here. That was Jesse Martin. Took the tackle on him one. Bowles keeps the ball at his feet. Dodges one way, comes the other. Left foot inside. Here's Goody. Little left around the corner. That was good. That was Doug Moore too. Goody, sorry.
Yeah, as you said, Muzz, at least that time when the ball came in previously, Goody was actually in front, so at least a better chance than behind, but was too tall for him. And just on number changes, boys, Ben Physic, I've noticed, is now running around at 22.
A little bit, a couple of stitches at half-time on that cut. It was a head clash.
And Mark Goody wasn't happy with my commentary last week, I'm told, from some of the text messages that I received last night.
And Mark Goody shot on goal, hits the post.
Maybe you want to hear what I say after that.
Stay up, Chris.
It's a disappointing miss from Goody. He's in the side to kick goals.
Playing quickly. Hawkins has a couple of bounces, continues his little trek down the far side of the ground. Decides to load up and go long now, 2-on-1 situation. They win out. Bilkey takes the defensive mark. Sends it back up the boundary line again.
We've seen the Eagles fight hard for all their chances of goal, and disappointing miss there from Goody.
Out of Ryan. Ryan right on centre wing. Pearson. McRedmond at centre half back.
He's got Vlatko in the middle. Didn't see him.
Merkel. Physic working hard for him. Decides to use him. Has to work back inside the ground. Physic's got Vlatko. Finally gets reward for the work that he did. Plays on quickly. They continue to move it very nicely, East Coast. Now it's with Beardsley. He's right on the edge of 50. They'd like to get a reward from this. They've put in a lot of pre-work. Beardsley, Vlatko standing there all on his own.
Well, that's the good example of patience, isn't it? He just told Spiteri now, Beardsley, to go forward because he doesn't like...
Run now from Fitton.
Well, now Goody's got to make amends.
So Goody gets another chance, as you said, Phil. Last shot on goal from almost a very similar spot on the other side of the ground.
Good work from John Vlatko there. He worked hard in the middle to get free, didn't get it, so he still kept working up the ground. And patience from Beardsley. Didn't blaze away, just waited for the right option.
So Mark Goody, approach on goal, one behind. He just kicked it previously into the post. This one's coming back. Trouble's enough. Goody gets in there. Lets Hawkins know about that one. That puts East Coast back into the lead by 4 points.
I'm sure Goodser would have said not bad for an old fat fella or something. I'm sure he's been copping a mouthful all day.
Just stabbing him.
No, mate, I'm saying that's what Hawkins would have been getting into him about. Mark Goody cops a bit out on the field, but I'm sure he gives it back. And that's a better reply. Put the Eagles back in front.
Send those complaint letters to
Matt Hill.
Philby Carroll.
Matt Hill. So a good little start, exactly what East Coast were looking for. Build a bit of confidence straight into this second half of football.
Bowles in the ruck. Not going to go any further. Ball held to Spiteri at the bottom of the deck. He's played very well, Spiteri, in that first half. So the secondary ball up. Good tap there from Elkington. He's really winning the ruck contest well for Uni. First to it, East Coast. That's not going to go anywhere. McRedmond. You don't want to give away a free kick when you've got the lead. We saw that happen in the 18s. We saw it happen in the 2s earlier. Going up. Good use of the body. There it was. Bowles. And Carius is going to
nice footwork.
Going to win it to the Rakes. Holding it back there was Thompson. Squares it up. Good mark, Kraft. Hand pass around the back. They're just going to use it through the hands. It's Turco. Switches play into the centre square. That's Lawson. Lawson sees some space on the far side. This is Mitchell. He takes a bounce. He's got some room. He can take another one if he likes. He doesn't. He goes the distance. Kicks inside 50. Good lead. So the free kick going to go the way of Sam Crichton.
And good run out of the back line there from the students. Something that will hurt the Eagles because they've got a few forwards who are coming back from injury and not too many of them wanted to chase out of the back line then.
Eugene Kruger, he just went a little bit early there, which presented that free kick for Crichton.
So his chance to put Sydney University back in front in this third quarter.
Kicks from about 40. The umpire comes around to the left, but it's done enough, and it's a goal. And the students are back in the lead.
Both teams converting nicely at the moment, making the most of their chances. So it's 8-5-53, East Coast 8-3-51. Back to a 2-point ball game in favour of the students. And Garner there working his board, trying to come up with some magic that will get the East Coast over the line for back-to-back.
So this one straight down the throat of Elkington. Couldn't hang on to it. McConaughey taken high.
Speaking of throats, McConaughey nearly lost his.
He's in some trouble. He's not feeling too good at the moment. Bit of a limp. Gets the hand pass away to Lawson. Lawson finds Thompson. He settles. Plenty of numbers back for both teams at the moment. He's told to play on. It's Turco. He's dispossessed.
Well, the umpire was going to blow it. Should have.
That is Charleston. Takes a bit of a bounce. Backs himself. Goes forward. He's got Dugmore here. Wheels around onto the left. Throws it across his body.
That's better from Goody in
Good
front.
mark. Goody.
Good kick too.
He's got numbers. He's got Chapman on the lead by himself if he wants it. Can't see him. Told to move on, then play on. Just kicks it back to Charleston.
Damien Charleston. He's still looking for a target. Got a couple of men lining up. Decides to use them in bowls.
You're going to have Bilkey on if they can get a big switch across here.
Physic and Pearson. Decides to use Pearson. Now they finally get it to Physic. Got the numbers here for Bilkey. Decide not to use him. They go straight down the line, find Dimmery. Dimmery now. Sydney Uni, they've got some numbers back filling the holes. They want to keep possession here. Eugene Kruger now.
Yeah, it's 50 metres, unlucky. Well, the Eagles needed that because there was no way they were getting into the 50-metre line. And Mark Egan's given away a 50, which I think was very pedantic.
Yes, he came from behind to get to the man on the mark. So Eugene Kruger, he'll kick from about 35 metres out. Shot on goal. He's missed it to the right. So disappointing there from Eugene. Very kickable goal. Should have put that one through.
Not the result the Eagles were after. They break to this grandstand side. Mark taken from Casperson. Spots his mate McIntyre. Hits him on the chest. Vlatko John on the mark. Going to kick to a contest. Mark can't be taken. Ball spills out the back. Then he's fitting. The hand pass over the top to Charleston. Arches his back and takes them on. He does well.
And 50 to the Eagles, and Kieran McRedmond, just in that last passage of play, has absolutely cleaned up Jesse Martin.
winning team was to
He's still down on the ground.
I think Jesse wishes he was a sailor at the moment because he doesn't look too healthy.
So further up ground, it'll be Charleston with a shot on goal for East Coast.
He's done well with young Jesse Martin, got up from that big hip and shoulder. McRedmond's definitely got about 30 or 40 kilos on him.
Well, I said they need to take their opportunities. They need to kick these goals. They're having a few shots, the Eagles.
He's got off the boot.
All clear.
The East Coast Eagles have got the lead. We're 11 minutes through the third quarter.
Side's moving well.
Damien Charleston there with his first goal of the day. Gets the East Coast Eagles back into the lead by 5.
So Jesse Martin just having a breather from a big shot behind the pack.
From Kieran McRedmond.
Danny Deegan will get us back underway. Bowles and Elkington. Elkington just gets a little tap behind, looking for McConaughey. Back of play there was Lee. Lee sends it high and long. Mancarius could get to the fall of this one. Does, loses his footing. Fizzy gets there to mop up. He's got John Vlatko, but getting there just in the nick of time and getting the punch away was Turco. Anton Turco doing a nice little job there to spoil John Vlatko.
So the ball's just gone down. We pick it up, the boundary umpire. Throw in about 60 metres out from the Sydney Uni goals.
Adam and Ryan, Adam and Ryan.
McConaughey and Fitton going at it.
Ball falls. Bottom of the pack trying to get at McConaughey. The ball spills out the back. East Coast through Belkey.
Should have kept running Costello, he would have got advantage.
So a free kick in the East Coast direction. The free kicks all in favour of East Coast at the moment. Especially the ones just a little bit late. John Vlatko switches across, and on the second attempt Pearson picks it up. Little grubber, fends off Bowles, across to Kruger, squares this one up. Mark can't be taken. Ball falls at the back. Ruckman Elkington getting to it. He's at the bottom of it. Coming out of nowhere, Spiteri has a shot on goal. And then the shot out on the full.
Straight across the front there, Spiteri missing everything. Free kick now with Sydney Uni. To the top of the square, they find David Mitchell. Now they work it further forward through Casperson. Barton looks to the far side of the ground. Elkington dishes back off to McConaughey. McConaughey then just loads that one over the boundary line. The free kick will come back to East Coast, so they'll look to repel here.
Goody coming to the pine for a break. The Frenchman Shane Ryan, he's going to come on. But first of all, Beardsley comes on. So, as we've seen East Coast deliberately do throughout the afternoon, just holding it. Short kick here, short kick there, and then the switch of play. They've switched this to the grandstand side. They're going to now switch this back into the centre square through John Vlatko. Wheels around on the left, goes to the outer wing. The man who should have been the best and fairest in the league, if only he was the fairest. Gives it to Kruger, squares it back to Vlatko. 5-point margin, 14 and a half minutes through the third quarter.
Cole should go long to the goal square. He can make it that far.
And it's a one-on-one contest. Coming through the back here will be Vlatko, Peter. The ball falls. Costello has the shot on goal, and it sneaks through for a behind.
Should also mention as well Steve Merkel playing his 100th senior game, as I believe is Rowan Brookie today for the Eagles. And Ben Fizzick is 150th. So a few milestones there for the Eagles.
And what a good day to have a milestone match as well.
For their sake, they'd hope it's a memorable one.
Sydney Uni, they play on out of the square. They go to the boundary, punch from Bilkey. Just possibly pulled off the ball. Kick wasn't paid. Mancarius chops that one off.
Did well.
Nice pass, finds his teammate Mitchell. Mitchell gets some run. Further downfield from Lawson. Lawson, he's got a man in the goal square. I think it's the big fella, Elkington. The fly comes. Pinched out of his hands, Thompson. Elkington.
Has he brought that in?
Should have been. He dived on it.
Mitch Thompson at the bottom of that pack there, wrapped up by Steve Merkel.
Unlucky Sydney Uni there. Need a bit more talk. They should have taken that mark.
It's a dangerous spot here for East Coast. One down. Elkington tried to grab a hold of it. Bottom of the pack though. Umpire's happy to reset and have another go.
Probably a good spot for them to give Elkington a rest in the forward line at the moment when they're down. He's definitely got a few inches height advantage on many of these blokes out there, so it'll be a good marking contest. Trying to kick it through there was Thompson, and it was rushed behind eventually. So it is East Coast Eagles, 9 goals, 5-59. They lead the Sydney University side, 8-6-54, 16 and a half minutes through the third. Bilkey with a short stabbing pass right into the guts. That was Ryan. Finds Bowles. Bowles just backs it back. Plenty of numbers, a good zone here from Sydney Uni. He's just going to go long. He's going to go to the boundary line on the far side of Kruger. Kruger can't take the mark, but uses the body well. Beardsley in trouble, gets the hand pass away, quick enough time. Kruger comes back for the second effort, drills a pass to Chapman. Chapman on the left, wheels around, going to come inside. Baker, he'll have the shot at goal. And got it! What a goal!
Well, Judge Trent Baker just went over the back of the Dugmore contest, as a good crummer should.
Well, Trent Baker might have hurt last week's game, Philby. I think it was on that Beards have a bit of a trim. Looked like he should have had a baby straight to the front last week. He was straight out of the movies, let me say.
Oh, I know he's been in the bowling alley during the week and been practising because he missed a couple last week.
A great effort there from Baker. Got to the fall of the ball across the back. Gets that one through and opens up a bit of a margin for East Coast. They're out to 11. And Bowles, Elkington go again. Costello delivers a little run.
And high. They're just getting a little rub of the green at the moment, the Eagles.
Beardsley, the bottom of the pack there, who just got that a little bit high as he was falling.
And remember, Beardsley played in the losing grand final last year for Uni New South Wales Eastern Suburbs.
Bowles sends it straight up the boundary line. Great work from Peter Vlatko. Good hands being shown. Decides to go for the short one. Bowles makes it.
Jeez, he's working hard, Damien Bowles. He's rucked this whole quarter so far.
He's got Doug Moore one-on-one at the top of the square if he wants it. He's going to go there.
It's a 4-on-1 though. Doug Moore had the sit. Mancarius tries to mop
Costello.
up. Costello. Fitton's going to have a bit of a go at it. An air swing. They finally get one to it, but it's not in the direction of the goals. Spinning back through. Bodies are plenty.
Spateri, that was.
Just getting caught with it there, Spateri, so the football will come back to Sydney Uni. It'll relieve the pressure, plenty of it for that last minute.
Ooh, this is gonna just eventually be punched out.
Well, the skipper, John Blacktown, who's put in another good performance as a captain. And that may be his younger brother on the hill there. Another Vlatko.
How many Vlatko's are there?
We're up to 4, and Harvey doesn't look quite as much as Jamie and Peter. They make it hard for us. Bit of strapping helping us out today.
Peter Vlatko looks like he's held together with the stuff. He's got more than Charleston, I reckon.
Elkington wins that one down a front spot. Pinched there by Shane Ryan. Frenchman's got a few on top of him there.
So Steve O'Connor's come on, but he hasn't replaced Bowles in the ruck yet. He's just going forward at the moment.
Yeah, he replaced Chapman. He's going to stay forward by the looks of it. They're happy with Bowles' output, which has been brilliant around the ground today. I think he's got a point to prove, Bowles. He doesn't even look tired. He just keeps running. He just wants to put in a good effort after the disappointment of Monday night.
Geez, he took it well. I was on his table. I would have been throwing cutlery and glasses. He just sat there and took it on the chin. He's playing in a terrific performance at the moment. Got the tap down of Vlatko. Costello buried by about 5 Sydney Uni players. We've just ticked over 20 minutes through the third. There's our Phelan medal winner, Alex Lee. He's been nullified today, hasn't had too many touches of the ball. Elkington with the punch. Thompson couldn't do much with it.
It's pretty good early, Lee. He mopped up across half back for a while. And as a normal on ball, a small forward. A bit of an unusual position for him, but he did it nicely.
Jesse Martin getting ready to come back on.
That's good to see. Running without it was Kruger, I think. No, sorry, that'd be Merkel. And at the bottom of the pack, Belkey with a couple of stitches. There's Jesse Martin coming back on. Good effort after a crunching hit in back play.
Bowles and Elkington at it again. Elkington's been pretty good in the ruck. He's winning down a lot. His teammates just aren't reading him too well. They'll probably nullify each other for some good work as Johnny Flacco. A little bit of a nudge there from Higgins. He's a little bit of a fiery fella, looks like Mickey Higgins. No, Elkington wins it down again, comes off the hands of Ryan. Egan though, finds it to the boundary line. Baker thinks that's a bit amusing. A little bit of fire coming out here as it starts to get tight in the tussle.
And I mentioned in the second quarter that's how the Eagles would like it. So far the premiership quarter, the Eagles have got the answers, but one they'll need to keep their game with the students able to just run when they get free and can hurt you.
Elkington with a tap down to Mancarius, who only had an air swing, and eventually it's held up right in front of that beautiful East Coast Eagles painted logo on the grass.
And you wonder in the last quarter in a big game whether having played games of football helps you or whether having the rest helps you. You just never know. I think it's all in the head, boys.
Elkington with a tap down. Merkel, he's got to bring this back, but he can't.
He was carrying it a little bit too far. It was Barton. He didn't quite know that the fence was so close.
It's out on the full. Merkel just need to bring that around a bit more.
Just collected the fence on the eyes for the footy there, Tim Barton.
That's Nicholas Barton.
Sorry, Nick Barton.
Tim out today. Big loss for the students. He's been good, Tim Barton, this year.
Good work there by O'Connor. The kick couldn't take hit its target.
Had a quiet day, O'Connor, because Bowles has been so brilliant in the ruck, but he got his chance there to do the 1%er and did it well.
So the boundary throw in front of the crowd on the hill. Free kick to Elkington. I think they might have just put O'Connor in the ruck. They play on through Mancarius. Goes long. The fly was Bowles.
Here they go.
Couldn't go. This is McQuirk. Hits Ian. Oh, sorry, that is Sloan. Hits Sloan on a lovely lead. A great passage of play. Jess McQuirk with a beautiful pass as we see the East Coast boys get down on the fence. Making sure Sam Sloan.
That's where they just need a little bit of space, Sydney University, and they can hurt you. Give them a bit of a gap and they'll run.
Perfect shot.
And he's missed that one. Must be a bit of a breeze. We've seen a fair bit of the ball going right to left today. Belkey to himself, and he's going to go to the far wing.
Kruger coughs that one up. Jesse
crucial mistake.
Sets it straight back into the corridor. Alex Lee all alone.
This is a man who can kick a goal, so bad mistake there from the Eagles back line.
Alex Lee, he eats these goals up.
Yeah, I've seen him kick a lot of very good goals, Alex Lee.
We'll kick from 40. Very, very slight angle here. He's looking pretty happy with that one. He squeezed it in, Alex Lee. The Phelan medalist, he gets his first of the afternoon.
Great time, guys. Keep it up.
Brings the margin back to 4.
Going well.
Will that be the little start Uni need?
Thanks, Gordy.
Taking them into the 3/4 time break.
There's a big challenge here for about 3 or 4 minutes. Just on half forward for East Coast until they got that break. So the drummer boy is pretty happy with that one.
So Bowles and Elkington do battle in the ruck once again. Fitton couldn't win the ball. Vlatko does, bends it around his body. Kruger couldn't win the ball, he was outnumbered. Sydney Uni with a bit of run. They come into the shadows of the grandstand through Jess McCourt. He set their last goal up. What can he do this time? He's told to play on. That not the best of kicks, puts his man under pressure. Jess McCourt back with it, putting beautiful work on it. Spiteri laid a good little tackle. Back with Sloan. They're going to run through hands here. That was Hawkins. They go for the far back option. Lawson. They switch it through the centre square. This is Hawkins. He goes wider again. They're on the hillside of Blacktown. McConaughey with a little sandwich just over the top to Jesse Martin. He had the stuffing knocked out of him only 5 or 10 minutes before. The doctor managed to put it all back in, the poor kid. He's set this one for sale inside 50. Uni, Pearson, hand pass out the back.
Hey! You!
Still going here, plenty of pressure. Casperson, mark can't be taken. Strong work from Baker, takes the tackle on. This is Kreft, couldn't get it. Vlatko shows the skills.
Okay.
Kick taken by Physic, New Jersey, number 22. Vlatko again. Just a bit of fumbles here. Good tackle by Fitton.
Good pressure there.
It's a bit of a rugby maul in here. A hand pass out, Fitton lays a good tackle. Here comes another tackle from Costello. The boys are throwing themselves at it. East Coast, all they want. There it is. He's just asking the question.
Great effort there from Ryan Fitton. Laid the first tackle, just nullified what that momentum was getting there for Sydney Uni. Got out, got another tackle again.
Well, it's red hot, boys. Sydney University were the sore price favourites, but the champs, they're not going to give away their title early.
27.5.
They're not going to give away their title there to fight the Eagles. They're going to take the lead into the last quarter.
Well, it's East Coast. They're out in front by 4 points. 10-5-65. The Students 9-7-61. Another strong battle in that third quarter. It's going to go down right to the wire, this game. And both teams willing to play this one out. That was a very intense, probably 10-15 minutes of football, gentlemen, and East Coast will be very happy to roll into that 3/4 time break with a slight margin of 4 points. We'll be back shortly for the fourth quarter to finish this off and find out who's going to take the AFL Sydney Premiership for 2010. Welcome back, the last quarter of the 2010 AFL Sydney Grand Final. And we're coming into one hell of a last quarter of football here at Blacktown Olympic Park. It's 4 points the margin. East Coast 10-5-65, the reigning premiers, the minor premiers. Sydney University, they're 9-7-61. Tough contest in that last quarter, Philby. Very, very tight.
Yeah, 9 inside 50s to the Eagles to 3 to Sydney Uni, and the Eagles definitely had more of the play, just didn't take their opportunities. So will they have the legs to run out the last quarter? They've put in a pretty hard fight the last 2 quarters. 1 quarter of footy left, anyone's game.
Umpire gets that one off. A little bit of favour to this side of the ground. They get the kick away. Higgins goes to 50. A little bit of a toe there from McConaughey. He's up forward at the moment. Spinning, Kreft. Back to McIntyre. He gets it forward now. It's going to fall fortuitously for McConaughey. And it's Sydney Uni that have the first chance in the final quarter.
And Damien Bowles rucked the whole third quarter for the Eagles, is starting forward this quarter. There's a 50-metre penalty push
I think
down
it
the
was
ground.
against Merkel, the way he's asking the question. I think he must have given Mark Egan a little bit of a nudge. So, McConaughey gets to kick right in front, exactly what Sydney Unifor were looking for. They get the first one of the final quarter in the margin. They've got the lead back. It's 2 points.
Well, you don't want those sorts of decisions costing a game. Well, I guess the Eagles got a couple early in the game. But let's hope this last quarter is just good hard footy like the previous 2 quarters have been.
Fellas, just coming out of the rooms a bit late there was Nick Barton, who's come back to the bench and paying a bit of attention to a left ankle.
Deegan gets us back underway again. Handball back through to the corridor. The ruckman, Elkington, gets it forward again. The mark taken by Mark Egan. And the Uni boys, they start to cheer. Early momentum swing. Egan gets up a little bit proppy on the ankle.
And Steve Merkel, the man on the mark there, so he's had a horror start to the last quarter, Merkel.
3 goals so far for Mark Egan. This would be a huge kick for the captain.
Yeah, very good first half, Mark Egan. Went quiet in that last quarter, but that was because the ball wasn't down there.
Only 3 inside 50, Sydney Uni in the last quarter. 9 for East Coast. Egan shot on goal, he celebrates.
Oh, he's missed it.
But he's missed it.
He was
Pushed
celebrating.
it to the right.
He was celebrating big time, the skipper.
Normally we go by the players to give us a little bit of a
Yeah,
hand.
definitely.
I think he might have been just trying to coax that one in, so disappointing effort from Egan. Bilkey takes the kick out. Now it's Charleston. Charleston to Pearson. Got McRedmond, the next target further up. Looking for Shane Ryan.
He can switch.
Just got over the fingertips there.
Just
of Kraft.
too slow to move it on then.
Bilkey's
That is
worked. Don't know
15.
how that wasn't 15, but anyway, Bilkey goes forward, looking for Bowles.
back,
Bowles
in
with
the
a little bit of a nudge with the hands there. It was pretty obvious for all to see.
Yeah, didn't need to do that, Bowles.
The free kick. They go straight up the corridor. Higgins. Vlatko just got there a little bit late. Deegan. Vlatko just paying a little bit too much attention to the arm rather than the ball. So it's now with Higgins.
He's got a spare man, no one's picked up.
Sydney Uni, they've all worked into the attacking half of the ground. Terrible kick from Higgins. Vlatko Connor actually putting pressure. They were very lucky there, Casperson.
All of a sudden the umpires decide they want to be in the grand final.
So Casperson back onto the edge of defensive 50 to Hawkins.
They're missing some targets back here, the students.
Mitchell, a little bit nervous here, possibly the Sydney Uni boys. They go to the far side. Mitchell once again. Bowles goes at it. Takes his man over with a good bit of body presence, and that finds its way over the boundary line.
But
East
didn't
Coast
do
to
too
be
bad out
happy
of
with
that. Yeah, East Coast, because the students had spare numbers every time they were going to kick it, and they just couldn't hit the target.
The boundary throw in. Jamoten there. Sydney Uni coach. Goody spins back through, gets it on the boot.
Mark Dugmore.
Dugmore out in front.
Always pays to play in front. You get taught that as a youngster. Dugmore was doing it, and he reaped the reward. Now, can he kick the goal? Full forward should kick it from there, but we've seen him miss, haven't we, Dan, over the years?
15 metres out from goal. He'll have to kick from about 20, 25.
This time last year we were screaming out, Seaback! Who's it going to be this year? Is it going to be Egan? Or is it going to be Dugmore?
Shot on goal. They celebrate. Dugmore gets one back. They pinch the lead back. The seesaw continues to rock.
I can't pick it down. It's anyone's ball game. We've had 3 pretty good grand finals. Dan, the emails on the boundary.
Yeah, fellas. Aaron Hawkins coming to the bench for a bit of a spell. Nick Barton returning from a injury cloud for his final 25 minutes in. It's been a cracking grand final.
So one of the best I think we've been involved in, Philby.
Yeah, definitely. From my perspective in the commentary box, we saw the Eagles bench there. There's 15,000 people working on that board, and Darren Chapman sneaking over to see whether he was going to get a go on the ground.
Umpire Barrett sends it high. That's Higgins across the back. Shane Ryan amongst it, gets a pinch out of the centre. They send it back though through Burrows. Burrows, Mancarius, Physic. Good punch, cleaned up there. McRedmond got McConaughey. Running around is McIntyre. McIntyre, I think this might just carry out.
That's out.
Out of bounds on the full.
McConaughey's back up. He's copped a couple of big ones and still keeps getting up. He's a gutsy little player out of McConaughey.
So the ball with Ben Physic. Physic's been asked to play on.
Has to be good, and is.
Finds Bilkey. Bilkey's in trouble. Just gets the kick away in time. Good little bit of use of the body though. Should have taken the mark. I think that's Vlatko. It is Peter Vlatko. Tackles the man well. Umpire just waiting to see how this turns out.
Well, I thought Vlatko got in the back initially, but then when the umpire didn't pay it, I thought it was holding the ball. So
Fellas, Fitton and Baker ready to go back onto the ground.
Darren Ball throws it up again. There's our man. Murray, inside information there.
No, they're just standing at the interchange gates ready to go.
No, I bet the man with the bongo drums in the dress.
Old mate in the dress, it's a bet that he lost. He didn't kick enough goals this year. And so there is the dress. He said it's a new season stock, size 12, and it fits him quite nicely.
Size 12, he's dreaming, I tell you.
Yeah, too much info there, Muzz. I reckon you might have got the phone number as well.
Shot there of Ryan Fitton waiting to get back onto the ground. Barron umpires again. Well, they're away now. Eugene Kruger. He runs to the edge of 50.
He likes it.
Up in the fist.
Oh, he celebrates a point as well. They're not doing as much up here.
Kruger second behind.
Would have been a goal of the day, that one, Kruger.
Could have seen a Bilkey-esque celebration on the back of that one from the young fella. So Bowles floats across, gets all ball that time. The relief of the boundary line.
Been very good bowls at just forcing the ball forward and just doing things to the team's advantage today.
Fellas are Fitton on, Beardsley off.
Murray down at a ground level now. Demery bangs it forward. Doug Moore just can't get the fingertips to it. Beats him over the boundary line, so we'll have another boundary throw in.
Blacktown coming off for a rest. I reckon it'll be his last one. Give one final surge to the skipper after this.
Intensity, action-packed last quarter of the AFL Sydney Premier Division.
The free kick to East Coast.
Kick to East Coast has been picked out.
It's to Steve O'Connor by the looks of it.
It was a block, I think I heard the umpire say.
Well, the young ruckman from East Coast, has there been a bigger kick in his career?
Steve O'Connor, 20 goals, he can kick them straight, Philby.
Jamie Blacktown coming off the ground, hasn't had a huge influence today.
20 goals for the year for Steve O'Connor. He knows where the big sticks are. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. That's
a great kick, Stephen O'Connor.
Kick. O'Connor holds steady. He knocks one through the big sticks. Margin out to 10. Goal number 12 for the Eagles.
Well, a nice little break now for the Eagles, 10 points in what's been such a tight game, but we've seen the Eagles haven't been quite able to get any further than that in front. Usually the students kick a couple. We see the Eagles crowd there, a bit quiet at the moment. The ones in the stands are a bit louder.
Yeah, the crowd really ramping up. They can feel this one slipping either away for Sydney Uni or into the hands of East Coast. So 10.5 minutes gone.
See, Murray, Murray there. Roscoe Abercrombie down from Port Macquarie. He'll be screaming out one more. He's looking very serious at the moment. The grand final for 2010 up for grabs.
On the edge of his seat. They're back underway. Bowles wins that one down. Spiteri tries to burrow his way through. Continue to try and work it through. Kruger. They start to peel off. Umpire Barron.
So 11 minutes into the final quarter for 2010. 10 points of difference to the East Coast Eagles are going for back-to-back premierships.
Over the back, Elkington, but they get a little tap. Spiteri to Dimmery. They go inside 50. Ryan gets there. It's enough to spoil Martin. They roll around. Doug
He's got a man loose.
He's got a man loose. He gets it forward. Goodie's a chance.
Good spoil.
Getting back though was Hawkins. Excellent effort by the students to get that spoil.
Just couldn't get enough on the kick, Doug Moore, to get it there a bit quicker.
Fellas, the ruckman Elkington coming off. Roberts has come on.
So another free kick against Sydney Uni.
He signalled the wrong way, the umpire. He signalled the wrong way.
Connicky was being held, so it'll come back. So the students will look to relieve some pressure. 11 points the margin. McGuirk with a bit of space to move on the edge of the square. Handball's back, now they go forward. Alex Lee and Mark Egan the targets. Bilky
Kept his
those
feet well, Bilky.
very nicely.
Great chase from Lee.
Alex Lee got in there, spoiled, got some hands over the ball.
Great effort from Bilky. He was steady in a crisis, but Alex Lee was brilliant then.
Keeps it in the danger zone, Alex Lee. Bowles wins that one down, tries to get a socket to it. They get one out of there. It's Baker in front. Behind it was Lawson. Ryan runs at the football. Kruger's got a little bit of room to move. He's getting chased by just out of bounds. Clint Mills put some good pressure on Eugene Kruger. He didn't give up.
Just keep 2 minutes.
Out of bounds on the full, the result. Sydney Uni.
It's getting tense. You can tell it's getting tense out there now.
They look to the edge of the square.
Redmond
does well. He gets in front position.
He got it.
Front of Mitch Thompson. Doug Moore couldn't get there in time. Hawkins, he gets the soccer forward. Thompson needs to get there for Sydney Uni. He can't do it. Lays the tackle on Dimmery.
Advantage Sydney Uni.
They're off here, Sydney Uni. They've got the advantage. Oh, he's being caught in the back.
In the back.
It's a tough thing these days. You've got to roll. Charleston, though, didn't get the roll in place and Sloan to Mancarius. Mancarius loads up looking for Egan. Kick wasn't good enough. Chance for McGuirk. McGuirk's been knocked down. Physics sitting on top of him. Barron says he's happy to set things up again.
John Blacko coming back on for his brother now. He's been off the ground for 5 minutes.
The lights have been turned on here, so everything's starting to heat up now.
Got a kick out of the pack there. I think it might have been McGuirk that just got on the end of that one.
Well, this time next week I'll be on my Bucks Day, boys. So my best man Bertie and Paul Macquarie better this because it's been a great game today.
That's just found its way inside. Charleston keeps it in. Tackled, gets the ball free.
Did well there, Charleston. Did very well to get it out of bounds because they were away, Sydney Uni.
He just kept it in and then I think he thought better of it. So, win down there. O'Connor back in the ruck. Bottom of the pack, they try to wrestle it through. Beardsley, Fitton wraps up Mancarius. Vlatko in there as well. Mancarius comes off for his change.
There's the tension down there, Murray.
Yeah, the edges of the seats are getting a big workout. Mancarius straight onto the strappers bench, and he's getting those hamstrings a good rub just so he can come out of the last 10-minute burst.
Little shovel out to Vlatko. He shakes him free. Fitton's going to be hot. Got rid of it quick. Doug Moore out in front. He's got no one there holding front position. They get away with it. Turco, he continues to try. Sloan out the back. Wells through the centre, it's McIntyre. McIntyre loads it up. They've got the numbers there, East Coast. Charleston could have taken the mark, went for the punch. Ball just slowly rolls its way over the boundary line as the tempo just continues to lift here at Blacktown Olympic Park. 2010 AFL Sydney Grand Final. Fantastic game of football, Philby.
It's a chance for the students.
They've got it out of the back of the pack. On the line though, it's Charleston. That was Mitch Thompson there with the snap.
And 16 minutes into the last quarter. Still plenty of time for Sydney University. The Eagles will want to keep playing, not slow it down.
Back to 9 points.
Well, they've been very patient when they've been outnumbered on this zone, getting it out. They just need to make sure their kicks and make sure they hit targets.
Charleston, not much room to move, decides to load up to the grandstand side of the ground. The fly came from Merkel. Hitting it with pace will need to. Someone does. It's McRedmond over the top. O'Connor. He got caught like a deer in the headlights. He didn't know what to do with that one. Kruger gets smothered. Good work from Burrows.
The students have lifted, you can sense.
Merkel and Elkington just couldn't control it.
John Blacktown's down hurt. Kieran McRedmond's got some important touches in this last quarter from man who hasn't played a lot of footy. Just his class has stood out a little bit. John Blacktown got up. He's tried his heart out today, the skipper for the Eagles.
Elkington wins that one down, but once again,
Spiteri should have got a free kick.
Didn't get the free.
It's a terrible decision.
Very impressed with
The umpire was in a perfect position there too. That's a terrible decision.
They're certainly letting him know about it as well at ground level. Once I can spit it out.
It's getting the best of everyone, Muzz.
And Elkington, the ruckman, ready to come on, so they need a few tap downs from him in these last 10 minutes.
Bit of attention there from Spiteri. Lee gets a handball away just. Now they've got some room. Kruger loads it up. He's given it too much, so that hasn't helped Dugmore, except his bounce does.
Goody,
out in front of Goody. Goody gets the bounce. He runs, hasn't got the pace. He tries to set it up for a man running through.
Tap it, Baker.
They get away with it. The students. Turco. He's back through the centre. He's got to shape up with Bowles. Bowles makes him get the kick away.
Dimmery.
They're through. Dimmery.
Walks through.
He pinches it. He's got some targets in Dugmore.
Very composed there, the youngster Jack Dimmery. Shimmy through two of them, and now Dugmore's got the chance to really put possibly one hand on the cup for the reigning premiers.
Dugmore, he's going to kick from just inside 50. I don't know if he's kicked a more important ball, Dugmore.
I've seen him kick a lot of goals over the year, a lot against East Coast I've seen him kick, but
I don't know if anything's been riding on quite this much. Plenty of weight on Peter Dugmore's shoulders.
You'll know if he kicks it, the crowd will go wild. John Blacko coming off for another rest.
2 goals so far today. He kicks from 48.
He likes
the
it.
hands are raised. Dugmore kicks it. Extends the lead to 15. 13 goals for East Coast Eagles.
3 goals to Peter Dugmore. We've been told he needed some assistance at half-time to get back out on the ground. Great effort from Dugmore to kick that goal. And the Eagles 15 points up. What can the reigning or the minor premiers do now? Have they got one last effort in them? I'm sure they have.
East Coast supporters getting well into it now.
Yeah, the Eagles chant has started down here, guys.
Rudy Bilsma down there on the ground. He's trying to get the crowd going. The little cheerleader, Rudy Bilsma.
Barron gets us back underway in the centre again. Doing a good job. McConaughey, Kruger pinches it. Bowles is going to have a little bit of room to move. He steps back inside. Can he cap off this one? No, he can't.
Well, it would have been a fitting finish for Bowles if he had to kick that goal. He's been brilliant today.
Damien Bowles, he's worked tirelessly after the disappointment of earlier on Monday night.
Boys, another stat for you. East Coast Eagles have never ever lost a grand final out here. They're the only team to win one. Not saying it's over yet, but that's the stat.
Sydney University, they work it along the far side of the ground. Charleston
cool.
does nicely. They work it forward, East Coast. They'd like a little settler here. That'd be beautiful for them. Bowles, it's in his hands again. He loads up, sends it toward Doug Moore. Doug Moore's got the sit! He shows the ball to the crowd. And the Sydney Uni heads start to drop.
16 in a row. Sydney Uni had won before today. We've seen this sort of thing happen before. Happened to the Eagles in 2006.
Peter Dugmore, he's kicked 3 goals. He's now looking for 4. Surely this has got to put it over the line and get East Coast very, very close to back.
They won't need one more if he kicks this one.
Peter Dugmore shot on goal. He doesn't look happy.
He's missed it. Oh.
He's pushed it to the left.
Fellas, Trent Baker off, Chapman on.
17 points to margin, so 3 straight kicks can do it for Sydney Uni. We see the Eagles bats there. Benny Rogers, who missed out, he's very unlucky to miss out today.
21 and a half minutes, he's gone over the line.
It's all falling apart now.
You've got to be behind the line. Your forwards on the line.
I don't know how many times we've spoken about it, Philby.
17
Big
points
white line
difference.
running around that square. It seems to be a problem so often.
Thanks, Mark.
So it'll come back, and the Sydney Uni, they're going to look to try and get this over the goal line, but the spoil's going to make it 3 straight kicks rather than 2-5. They win it down. It's going to be dangerous. Shane Ryan was looking for the bounce. He didn't get it. They work it to the near side. Doug Moore chasing hard. They get the pick up. Jesse Martin works along the boundary line. He lobs it up. Charleston might get the sit. He does it.
It sounded a bit like Damien Charleston then.
The voice have gone out for him.
You're really excited there, guys.
Fired up in the commentary box.
Damien Charleston back to the club this year. He's had a great final series. Missed a lot of the year with a knee injury, but he's just missed a cool, calm and collected.
Played with Southport last year in the QAFL.
And Kieran McRedmond here.
They look to just quieten things down now, share the ball around East Coast.
McRedmond played in the losing 2006 grand final, and I reckon he was the most disappointed man of the whole group.
Back they go to Merkel. 23 minutes has just ticked by. 2010 AFL Sydney Grand Final.
And here's the
Bilkey.
hair. The hair, Bilkey, should be shaved off on Monday, I would have thought.
You would hope. He's trying to bring the mullet back. I'm not sure it's worked.
Oh, he's through.
Fellas, I'd say he shaved at about 4 a.m. this morning after a couple of fluffies.
Eugene Kruger, how good's this kid been today?
He has been fantastic. Wonderful player for the East Coast. One of the fantastic young guns they've got coming through.
And it's another free kick to the Eagles.
Sydney University.
Guys,
It's a big second half here from East Coast. Sorry, Muzz.
Jordan McIntyre has come to the bench and coming back on, Michael Higgins.
A little bit of the stings come out of it now, but Spiteri sends it forward to Vlatko. Peter Vlatko low to the top of the square. Doug Moore has a couple of bites at the cherry. Couldn't take either of them. Mancarius, he tries to work it out of defence. Gets a handball to McConaughey. McConaughey straight through the centre.
Good kick.
Pass finds the target.
He's got nothing to kick to.
They now go forward through Burrows. Burrows loads it up. Lee hits it at pace. Gets the hand, has a second go. Last minute tackle.
Great tackle, Kieran McRedmond.
What a saving tackle that was.
Well, some doubt as to whether he should play today, but I'll tell you what, his last quarter has been brilliant.
Alex Lee has hurt himself in that tackle.
And it looks like McRedmond might be a bit sore after it as well, but geez, he tried hard to get Lee.
Lee was running into goal there. That would have put the pressure right back on. We're still only coming up to 25 minutes into this last quarter. Through the hands of Peter Vlatko. Ball makes its way over the boundary line. Frustration there from Jack Lawson.
Well into red time, guys.
Might be a little bit of happiness there coming from East Coast that one found its way over the boundary line.
Face the footy. Adam Ryan.
Boundary throw in. Misses both. Across the back was Ryan. Mancarius, he's at the bottom of the pack. They keep pushing it forward. Fitton does it well. They've missed the ball there. Goody had a chance. Sydney Uni now, the 1-2. Thompson, McConaughey. Burrows. A little bit of a handball coming out. Bilkey looks to mop up for East Coast. He spins the rack through, gets the handball free. Vlatko sends it forward to Vlatko. Peter Vlatko loads up. He sends it forward looking for his brother Jamie. Kick wasn't good enough though, so now with Hawkins, he struggles to control it. Jamie Vlatko, a little bit of a soccer off the ground through the hands of Ryan. Shot of the East Coast bench interchange. Vlatko, John looking to get back on the ground as Beardsley does that. Fitton comes off for a rest. Beardsley looks to get there in time, he can't. McConaughey trying his best to lift his side. I think it's Kreft out in front. Pearson does nicely, just settles the ball. Kruger runs past Sloan. Over the back, it's Egan. Egan tackled by Pearson, stacks on.
Danny. Danny, go.
26 minutes, 45 seconds tick by, 17 points the margin. East Coast Eagles, they're looking to go back to back, 13-9-87. Sydney Uni, 10-10-70. Boundary line's going to win out again. East Coast will continue to be happy with that.
The crowd there, Roscoe Abercrombie still looking pretty nervous. I think they can, you never know, there could be a long quarter, but I wouldn't have thought so. 17 points of difference should be enough for the Eagles.
There it is! Coast win the 2010 AFL Sydney Grand Final. Fantastic performance for the Eagles. They go back to back.
Back to back, and how good is that the Eagles could not win a grand final for love or money for years and years, and now they've won 2 in a row.
They get over their minor premiers, Sydney University. They went 16 games straight until today, and they've lost, unfortunately for them, on the biggest day.
Great event, and look, well done to Sydney University. They were a great throughout the season. They came here to play today. They were just beaten by a gutsier side who wanted it more all day.
Unfortunately for Sydney Uni, they have gone to the top grade. They've done fantastically today. They've gone and really put it up to this entire competition after getting elevation into the Premier League. 3 grades today, and unfortunately they only came out with the 1 win in the 18s. But East Coast Eagles, they've been fantastic, Philby. They played a sensational brand of football today. They finished it off in this last quarter, edging out. They've got that 3rd quarter, the extra goal, a couple in this last. They've just been fantastic. Doug Moore finishing things off for them.
And great work there for a few of the Eagles there who missed out on premierships last year, and also in 2006, Charleston, Goody, McRedmond, and better players. Look, Sydney Uni, they tried hard. Mark Egan, their skipper, he was good all day. Mancarius was good. McConaughey, he copped some big hits all day and he just kept going. But for the Eagles, I thought their skipper just was brilliant. He led them well all day. With Damien Bowles, after the disappointment of losing the Phelan medal, he came out here to play, and I think he really set up the win for the Eagles today.
He was fantastic all day. It was a very good team performance all across the park from East Coast. Eugene Kruger, he had a bit of a standout game today for a young fella. Lots of pressure, provided a lot of run off half-back. And a fantastic performance. How is it down there, Muzz?
Oh, mate, they're going absolutely berserk down here. There's plenty of supporters, plenty of hugs and kisses and high fives at the moment. They're well and truly celebrating this one hard.
Ben Fizzik was fantastic across half-back for them as well. Damien Charleston, he had a grand performance today, once again backing up last week. All the Vlatko boys getting involved throughout the day, and some very, very important goals from that man up forward, Peter Dugmore.
A good mixture of experience and youth though. Costello was great in the middle there for a youngster.
Spiteri once again led from the front, a young kid who was in and under all day.
Kruger and Dimmery, youngsters who we saw Dimmery in the grand final play well last year, but they've all done well. That man there on screen, Damien Bowles.
Big grin on Bowles's face. He's a happy boy now.
And they're about to sing the song now.
Yeah, I'll put this mic in, boys. Have a listen to this.
Singing that all night tonight at Bruce Purser Reserve, I'd imagine.
I reckon that one was sung just as hard as it was last year, Philby. Going back to back, hugely important result today for the East Coast Eagles. Massive effort that goes in across a very successful and well-run club. As we'll roll across and we'll have a look at the quarter-by-quarter scores.
And Sydney Uni started the game brilliantly. In the first quarter they came to play and we thought, well, is this going to be a one-sided affair? They kicked 4-3-27 in the first quarter to the Eagles. 2 straight goals. So they started off brilliantly, probably could have been further in front, Sydney University, but in the second quarter the Eagles hit back and at half-time was 7-5-47 to 7-2-44, so they'd drawn level, and then with the premiership quarter, the Eagles definitely stepped up another gear. They kicked only the 3 goals, but they had the majority of the play, and it was 10-5-65 to 9-7-61. When you were in for a great last quarter, and it was a great last quarter until right at the very end, the Eagles kicked 3 goals to 1 to run out the 2010 Premier Division champions of the AFL Sydney, 13-9-87 to 10-10-70.
We roll over the page, we'll have a look at the goal scorers. And for Sydney University, it was only the 3 to Egan, singles to Turco, Thompson, McConaughey, Martin, and Carius, Lee, and Crichton. And for the victors, the Eagles, Doug Morey led from in front with 3. Bowles and Spiteri both kicked 2. There were singles for Charleston, Beardsley, O'Connor, Baker, Goody, and Vlatko. So a fantastic performance today from East Coast Eagles. They'd finished off a very tough season on the big day. Commiserations to Sydney University. They've been the best team all year, but when it counted today, it was East Coast that got across the line. So in finishing off, East Coast Eagles 13-9-87, 17-point winners over Sydney University 10-10-70. I'd like to thank everyone involved with Digital Sports Team, all the cameramen, Craig in the truck working hard.
And congratulations to the boss. Had a baby girl yesterday morning.
Birth of Isabella, so it's been a happy week. Thanks to Murray Canalan, Phil Bester, Matt Hill, who's helped us out throughout the year as well, Gary Birkinshaw and Aaron Jenkins. Fantastic, another fantastic year of AFL Sydney. On behalf of myself, Dan Johnston, we wish you an enjoyable off-season. We'll see you back for next year. Bye for now.
MOM guys?
Bowles. Gary knows.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he could do anything but...
Sorry?
A few of the boys are saying $4.50. Thanks very much.
Right, ladies and gentlemen,
I'll sort you out
just commence the presentation now.
Need a tissue?
First of all, I just think we should put our hands together for East Coast Eagles and Sydney University on a fantastic game of football. These two clubs started the day today with a fantastic under-18s game of football, and we finished it today with another great exhibition of AFL Sydney football. Just like to start by thanking the umpires today. Field umpires Matt Gestia, Danny Deegan, Paul Barron. Boundary umpires Gordon MacArthur, Luke McSpearin, Sean Richardson. Goal umpires Frank De Cosmo and Sergio Villagra, and emergency umpire Justin Fox. We put our hands together for the umpires. I'd just now like to call long-time East Coast Eagles supporter and sponsor Marie Gawley to the stage to assist with the presentation. We're going to start with the Rod Podbury Medal for the best and fairest player on the ground today, and that goes to number 28 for East Coast Eagles, Damien Bowles.
Firstly, I'll thank Sydney Uni. It was well fought. Good, hard game. Thanks for that. The East Coast, thanks for staying around. Good crowd out here today, and well-deserved voice.
I'd just like to commiserate with Sydney University. They might have finished second on the scoreboard today, but they've certainly been winners through the year. I think this is their fourth year back in the Premier Division. Coming in today, they won 15 straight, and that was only their third loss of the year. So, while it's tough to take, looking back over the summer, I think you'll enjoy it. I know that you've had a pretty good year, so well done to Sydney University. I'd now like to call on their captain, Mark Egan, to come up and say a few words.
It's pretty hard to get up here at the moment. To East Coast, congratulations, you played a really good game today. Obviously had a very smart game plan and you executed it brilliantly, so congratulations to you guys, thoroughly deserved on the day. To my team, couldn't be prouder, pretty much all through the year. We've had a fantastic year. Unfortunately, we just didn't bring it on the last day, but each and every single one of you, I just couldn't be prouder. I'm happier to play football with you. To all the supporters, the busload of Sydney Uni guys that have all come along, family and friends and everything like that, thank you very much for the support that you gave us and just the atmosphere that you created during the game. Lastly, to Motor, you've done a fantastic job this year, but unfortunately we just couldn't do it for you on the last day, so have a good night, East Coast.
Thanks very much for that, Mark. I'll now call on the winning coach for captain for East Coast Eagles, who went back-to-back. Last year was their first one, and then they've backed it up with their second premiership. I'll call on their captain, John Blacktown, to say a few words.
Firstly, boys, commiserations. So not to make the finals last year and then to get where you are, you should be proud of your efforts, and I know we were looking forward to playing against you because you'd serve up a good fight for us, and no, very good effort. Thanks. To these blokes, everyone here knows that I'm not good at speeches. I just couldn't be prouder. It's a different side this year. Last year obviously was very good, but this year we knew our work was cut out for us. We dug deep from the position that we lost the first one, and we all sort of got together as a playing group, and we knew the hard work was ahead, especially against a quality side like this. And it's what dreams come true on days like this, and I couldn't be prouder of yous. I love yous all as blokes, and like I said last year, this isn't just a team effort, it's a club effort. From Steve Gawley and the likes of PMA, thank you very much. Steve Gawley, Base Course Management. To all the other sponsors that helped us out during the year, to the Super Coach, back to back, Glenn. So I'm sure we'll have a few beers tonight. Well done on your efforts this year with a half a new side. Anyway, thank you to the crowd. Been awesome. You've been awesome all year, but I think we're all sick of Marie Gawley's voice, but she's very special. She's very special to all of us, and we love you. So, to my family, even my personally, my grandparents from Adelaide and my grandparents from Sydney, they don't come to any of our games because they came a few years ago and we lost. So, I'm glad you've broken the curse for us. So, thank you very much.
Thanks very much for that, John. I'd like to call Marie back on the stage and we'll present the Premiership medallions. Right, starting with number 2, Christian Pearson. Number 3, Jamie Vlatko. Number 8, Shane Ryan. Number 10, Peter Dugmore. Number 14, Mark Goody. Number 15, Kieran McRedmond. Number 16, Steve Merkel. Number 17, Ben Physick. Number 18, Jack Dimmery. Number 19, Eugene Kruger. Number 20, Daniel Spiteri. Number 21, Damien Charleston. Number 24, Trent Baker. Number 26, Ryan Fitton. Number 27, Peter Vlatko. Number 28, Damien Bowles. Number 29, Rowan Bilkey. Number 30, Steve O'Connor. Number 36, Mike Beardsley. Number 37, Darren Chapman. Number 43, Dean Costello. The coach, Glenn Garner. The captain, number 9, John Vlatko. Before we present the Premiership Trophy, I'd just like to ask the coach, Glenn Garner, to say a few words.
Firstly, commiserations, Rog and the boys. Had a fantastic year. Getting there is hard, winning is hard, and we've been there as well. And we certainly, you learn a lot from them. I've got no doubt for a long time to come, you guys are going to set a benchmark for us. We really needed you guys this year to get up and make sure that we had a challenge. We certainly had to. We knew we had to turn up, prepare well, and play our best footy to get over the top. And to our guys, to your credit, finals footy is a new season. You don't have to bring it out on during the regular season, but to the credit of the group, the way you've gone about your planning, your preparation, execution, and that's the difference in finals football. Has been outstanding. An outstanding group. We said at the start of the year, to win it's difficult. To go back to back, it's even harder. But boys, you've done it. Well done. To all, John's already mentioned, Premiership's obviously a result of not just the players, not just the coaches, but the people behind the scenes. They're the people that make sure you can get in those type of positions on and off the field. So to all our supporters, sponsors, assistant match day staff, everyone who's played a part in it, thank you very much. And I certainly expect you all be on next year to do it again. Thank you.
I'll just call Marie onto the stage with Glenn and John. Ladies and gentlemen, premiers for 2010, East Coast Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the 2010 AFL Sydney season. I'd just like to thank all the players for their contribution, all the volunteers, and just as importantly, all the spectators, especially those who made the effort of coming out here today. Enjoy the off-season, make sure you have a safe trip home, and I'll catch you all in 2011. Thank you.